Orioles and Red Sox, Birds trying to get one before heading off on a road trip as the season begins to wind down. It's the Orioles and Red Sox. Stay with us. Lineups at first pitch are coming up next. Back here at Oriole Park, and you could not ask for a better day to play baseball on this Sunday afternoon. It is gorgeous, and the Orioles and Red Sox close out the weekend series. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Orioles: Jacoby Ellsbury, Dustin Pedroia, and Victor Martinez, with Youkilis batting cleanup. Jason Bay back in the lineup in left field. J.D. Drew is in right field. He has really hit the Orioles well this year. 4 home runs and 14 RBIs to go with that .362 average. Mike Lowell, Jason Varitek, and Alex Gonzalez.
Take a look at our PNC scouting report for Jason Burke. And while he's 3-2 in his last 5 starts, he's won 3 in a row. 2 home runs allowed in those last 5 starts. Able to keep the ball in the ballpark. Against the Red Sox, a little different number, but did get a no decision in his last start up in Fenway Park. So a much more confident pitcher. If you remember, wasn't even invited to spring training, wasn't one of the 37 pitchers that went down to Fort Lauderdale. So when you look at him in the press guide, you got to go all the way to the back. Last year, real good year at AA Bowie, where he was 12-4. But again, he's had a nice ride this year, and he's better now than he was earlier in the year. And that's what you're looking for on a team that's trying to get better.
25-year-old out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and here's Ellsbury, and there is a pitch low, and it's 1-0. Jacoby Ellsbury has a 5-game hitting streak, bringing it into today's game. He just recently turned 26 years old. And it's low again, ball 2. Ellsbury 8 hits during the 5-game streak, batting at .301. And a dangerous man in that leadoff spot because of his speed. And there's a strike as Ellsbury took 2 and 1. For Burke, his 22nd big league start, Jim. And his ERA, as you mentioned, is on decline, which is what you want to see. It's at 6.08, but it's getting better and better. There's a strike, 2 and 2.
Yeah, and if you go back to his last game, now he struggled early. That was against Tampa Bay, gave up 5 runs, but they were in the first 3 innings. 4 in the first and then 1 in the third, and then settled down, and the Orioles came back and won that game 10-5. There's a changeup that misses out in the way. So, you know, if you look at what's going on, it to me all started in Chicago. Chad Moeller caught that day. He ended up beating the White Sox, stopped a long losing streak.
And the 3-2 is down and in, ball 4, and there's a leadoff walk. So Ellsbury gets on with none down in the top of the first.
Let's take a look at the Orioles defense. Luke Scott, a rare appearance in left field with Reinbold finished for the year. PA with 3 hits last night in center. Marquez out in right, still trying to get to 200 hits and 100 RBIs. To Justin Turner, Esturas, Roberts, and Michael Aubrey. And then Matt Wieters last night, the DH, with 3 hits. He'll be behind the plate, and that's not a good idea to walk Ellsbury.
Pedroia takes a strike. It's 0-1.
And we have seen how well he can handle the bat in this series. He sprayed a couple of balls on Friday night to right field. Last night started the go-ahead rally with a single to left.
High fly ball. Center fielder PA battling the sun, and he has it for the out. 1 down. Ellsbury's got to get back to first base. So Pedroia, who has an 11-game hitting streak going, is out. 1 down. And Birkin now will go to work on Victor Martinez. This was some acquisition by the Red Sox. They tried to get Teixeira in the offseason. The owner, John Henry, was a bit upset at the face-to-face meeting, and they went home and said, well, fine, you could go do what you want, except then he ended up with the Yankees in the division. And this is the counter move, even though it came during the season, Victor Martinez. And this is one of those moves not only for this season, but this is for next year and the next year and the next year.
Well, he's relatively young. What is he, 29? And, you know, a switch hitter like Teixeira is not a power guy like him. He's not as good a defensive player. I had read where they had actually offered Teixeira up to $188 million, but he decided to go to the Yankees, and of course might have settled for less money. I don't really know if that's true or not, but anyway, they went out and got him.
Pitch out, runner goes, throws high, and it sails into center field. Ellsbury thinks about going to third, but he'll stay put. So even on a pitch out, the league's leading stolen baseman gets a huge jump on Birkin, and he's in at second base with 1 down.
Yeah, see, big lead, good jump, takes a look right there, and then he knows he's going to have to slide, throw, sails. See, there's your pitch out. And again, you don't really throw from that position that often as a catcher. Another night, Matt Wieters thrown out Carl Crawford, who is right behind Jacoby Ellsbury. So there you go, 63. That's a franchise high for the Red Sox.
Adding to his league lead.
Only been caught 10 times.
Martinez takes a strike, 1-1. The 63 steals, by the way, is the most in the major leagues, not only the American League, for Ellsbury. Martinez, the hottest hitter in the Red Sox lineup, has an 18-game hitting streak going. Fouls it off the other way, and it's 1-2.
Well, he's a tough out because he's a good breaking ball hitter. He's a very smart hitter. It's funny, when he beat the Orioles a couple of weeks ago, coming in pinch hitting with the bases loaded against Danny Baez, he swung at the first pitch and lined it off the wall in left center for a base clearing double. And he said, I just looked fastball because I knew Baez was probably going to throw me a strike because he had walked the previous batter. So a lot of times, good hitters turn into be pretty good catchers because they have a good feel for the game. The slider misses. And even last night in the 7th inning, gave himself up. Runner at second base, Pedroia led off with a single, went to second base on a stolen base, his 18th, and then he just gave himself up, hit that ground ball to the right side, and then Youkilis got him in, made it a lot easier for him. So he's certainly an unselfish player, and that's the kind of guy you want on the team.
2-2 on Martinez. Ellsbury from second, and it's down and in, ball 3. And there are veteran hitters on this team, and Martinez certainly one of those. They know what they're looking for, and they're very selective.
And again, if you have a good batting stroke and you have a good hitting instructor that talks about it's pretty much getting the front foot down so you can let the ball travel farther, it's a lot easier to lay off those close breaking balls because you're not in any hurry to hit.
And the 3-2 is outside. There's ball 4. 2 walks in the first inning allowed by Birkin. Jim mentioned that first inning. against Tampa Bay, 4 runs, and he's in a jam already.
Right here, there we go. There's 2-1. Actually, I guess they called that a strike, so it evens up at 2-2. Misses with a pretty good breaking ball, and then walks him with a changeup. So you saw all the pitches, and when Jason Birkin usually gets into trouble, he gets the ball up and he just gets behind the hitters, doesn't command his stuff.
Kevin Youkilis takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. Youkilis having another good year for the Sox. He is 9th in the American League with that .309 average. And he is 2nd in the league in on-base percentage, which is remarkable considering for the most part he bats cleanup. Line to center field, hanging for PA. Now it falls. Base hit. PA in on it. Ellsbury will be held. And the Sox have the bases loaded with 1 down. PA was deep with Youkilis up there, and he was able to bloop it in front of him.
Well, Youkilis has got 6 home runs against the Orioles, so maybe you do play a step. But again, just an inside-out swing. I mean, it's this whole roster, this whole lineup, they just have controlled swings. Very few of them ever swing out of control. And that's why they're the 3rd best offensive team in the American League. Yankees, Angels, Red Sox.
And here is Jason Bay, who's having a huge season for the Sox. Bases loaded, 1 down. Line drive, base hit left field. Boston gets the lead. Luke Scott in on it. Ellsbury scores. Being held at 3rd is Martinez. So Jason Bay back in the lineup. He's been battling the flu bug, and he picks up an RBI, and Boston gets to Birkin for a quick lead. With Kranitz out for a 1st inning visit.
We'll talk about location. Just a hanging slider, 88, right in the middle of the plate. You're really lucky when you hang a slider to a power hitter like Jason Bay. That all it is a 1-run single. Luke Scott's going to get it in a hurry as Ellsbury makes it 1-0.
Pitch Tracks brought to you by Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse.
So one of the 2 walks is scored. It's not a good idea to walk Ellsbury to lead off the game because of his ability to steal bases.
So the bases still loaded. Martinez, Youkilis, and Bay 3rd to 1st. Here is J.D. Drew. And he takes it high, 1-0. There's the on-base percentage numbers. The Yankees are number 1. The Red Sox number 2. The Angels number 3. What do those 3 teams have in common? They're all playoff bound. Swung through it, 1-1.
Well, the last month, only 1 team has hit better than the Red Sox, and that's the Yankees. Red Sox have scored since the 18th of August, 187 runs, hit 295 as a team. That's pretty good offense. The Yankees, even better at 314 with 198 runs.
Drew fouls it back, a ball and 2 strikes. J.D. Drew signed as a free agent. He's now in his 12th season and his 3rd with the Red Sox. He had one of those opt-out clauses with his contract with the Dodgers, and the Red Sox gave him more money, so he came to Boston.
And 5 years.
And a strike 3 on the outside corner, and Drew knew it. Obviously not looking slider there, and a good pitch, 2 men down.
Well, he just throws him a breaking ball, and I don't know if he looked back and saw Wieters slide inside, but it kind of backs up a little bit. And you know, a lot of times you call that a backdoor breaking ball. I think it just backed up a little bit, and it just filtered to the outside corner and drew out down on strikes.
Birkin and out away from getting out of a big jam. Here's Mike Lowell, who is DHing today. Hard hit ball, base hit past Turner in the left field. 1-run scores. Youkilis coming in, he'll score, and Boston has a 3-0 lead in the 1st. So 2 of the hitters in this inning driving in runs, each hit the 1st pitch, and Boston has a 3-0 lead.
Well, if we go back and look where the ball is, I mean, Mike Lowell, when you do your scouting reports, he's a high ball hitter, and that ball kind of pretty much just in the middle of the plate. You can see about belt high, very much like he did last night when he lined a single into left to make it 6-3. So again, if you keep the ball down, maybe a chance to get him out, and if you're in the middle of the plate, he usually has a pretty good swing.
Jason Varitek, the 8th Boston batter to come up here in the 1st inning. And he chops it towards first base, backing up his Aubrey. He'll go to the base unassisted. And the inning is over, but Boston strikes quickly. They get 3. Well, into the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. Three in the top of the first. Here come the Orioles, bottom of the first. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Birds. Roberts, PA, and Wieters up top. Matt Wieters, pretty good numbers against the Red Sox this year. .425 batting average and 3 RBIs. Markakis, Scott, and Wigginton with Aubrey, Turner, and Asturias rounding it out.
Let's take a look at our PNC scouting report. Well, it's a big game for Dice K because he has one quality start, and that was in his last start against the Angels. Beat him 4-1, 6 innings. Effective and efficient. Well, he was 18-3 last year, but they had to go to the bullpen because he nibbles and the pitch count gets up. There are his lifetime numbers: 2-1, 4.73 ERA versus the Orioles. So his last start, he was not living on the edge. That's usually the way he pitches. Again, you know, MVP of the WBC, the World Baseball Classic. Apparently came to camp out of shape, heavy. Put on the disabled list after 8 very, very mediocre starts, and he was very good in his last one. And if he gets that low strike, he'll be good today. I think you'll look at command and you'll look at the velocity. He was 92-93 against the Angels. That first pitch at 86.
0-1 on Roberts, leading off for the Birds. Swings through it, and it's 0-2. Well, Daisuke Matsusaka spent 2 separate stints on the disabled list this year. He first went to the DL April 15th, was there till May 22nd. That was with right arm fatigue. He came back for a month, but then went back on the DL June 21st and only returned for his last start on September 15th. And that was because of a right shoulder strain. So maybe one led to the other.
Yeah, and they went out, Mike Reinhold is their rehab coordinator. They went down James Andrews, one of the more renowned surgeons. So they hired him, and he's been head of their program, and apparently just not in shape. I think a lot of people talking in Boston about the fact that maybe the World Baseball Classic took precedent over his conditioning and what he was trying to do for the Red Sox. So, of course, if you go back early in the year, they had Brad Penny, who would pitch well early and then really struggled. Buchholz was in the minor leagues, who's come on to be their number 3 starter. So this is a big game in the sense that Dice K, with the postseason coming up, is he going to play a role?
Roberts fouls it off to stay alive. He really is an interesting pitcher, and you mentioned that he does nibble. There's no doubt about it. I mean, last year he led the American League in walks with 92, but he's very difficult when he's good to get base hits. So he'll force you to hit the pitch he wants you to hit, and if he walks you, and he goes after the next guy.
Well, when he pitched against the Orioles last year, he had the bases loaded and had yet to give a hit up in 13 or 14 times, and that's amazing. Kind of living again on the edge.
1-2 on Roberts, and he's down on strikes. Breaking ball down and in that Roberts swung through, and Matsusaka gets the leadoff man and 1 away. Well, last night Felix P.A.'s bat came back around. He had a 3-hit night, including this home run.
Yeah, 9th inning home run straight away center field off of Manny Del Carmen. Well, Carmen would come in with an 11-3 lead, eventually have to be relieved. So there you go. Pretty good numbers for the first two Orioles. And over the course of the years, it's been Brian Roberts and Adam Jones. And they've done the majority of the hitting. Jones with the high ankle sprain, so he's out for the year.
He fouls it off the mask of Jason Varitek, and there's Adam Jones on the bench.
He usually has the walking cast on, but he's getting around a lot better. He's still having a little bit of flexion problems in that leg. Going to do the athlete performance program out in Arizona. He lives out there in the offseason, along with Brian Roberts. Brian Mattis did it last year. The Orioles' #1 draft choice.
Bounce foul. Well, it was good to see Adam Jones yesterday with the ankle taped, but without the boot.
Well, he's been getting treatment. Talking to Chad Muller, you always want to hang around if you're a hitter with catchers. It will give you a pitching perspective.
I think Adam's going crazy.
Oh, well, you know, he went through it last year where he had the broken foot and was out a month. It's not what he wants to be doing in late September.
PA tried to request time. Matsuzaka now ready to go. And the 0-2 is fouled back.
Well, they like the fact that in his last start, now you have to understand the Angels is one of the better offensive clubs in baseball, that he was aggressive. He got ahead in the count. He threw the ball well. I mean, this is a totally different guy. They said he's about 10 or 15 pounds lighter, much more muscular, you know, shoulder with that program that they put him on, much stronger, and they took their time.
The 0-2 is line foul. Look out.
I'm still waiting for the gyro. That was the pitch. Remember when he came over from Japan, everybody said the gyro, which really just kind of a changeup that you turn over a little bit like a screwball.
Matsuzaka, Jim, in 70 major league starts has 55 decisions. So he gets deep enough in the games usually to be able to hang around. Plus he pitches for the Red Sox and they tend to score some runs.
And win and have a good bullpen.
There's the 0-2. PA again fouls it off. The Red Sox come into today's game with an ERA of 4.20. Their starters have the second most wins in the American League among starting staffs. Boston starters have 62. The only team with more is Texas, and the Rangers have just one more at 63. The 0-2 to PA's high, so 62 wins out of starters.
Well, how about getting in right now, and he's trying to do this again and continue the swings. 12 straight games where they have gone 7 innings and given up 3 runs or less. Quality starts, what, 6 innings, 3 runs or less, but they've gone 7 innings. They're, as a team, you know, the starters are 7-1. So they've been really lights out.
PA takes a pitch inside, 2-2.
Terry Crowley, the hitting instructor for the Orioles on Friday, said we got to get Felix going again. And 2 days later, he gets 3 hits, one of them a home run, and he did it off of Lester too early on in the game. It's not an easy guy to try to get base hits off.
And again, PA fouls it off. So Felix with a very good at bat, battling Matsuzaka here. He was 0-2 quickly, and now it's 2-2 as he continues to foul off some good pitches.
And again, if you go back to last night's game, I mean, the Orioles would end up losing 11-5, but they really battled Lester. I mean, without Reimold, without Jones, that was the first time since May 9th that John Lester has given up 10 hits, more than 8. So they made him work, even though he ended up winning the 14th time.
2-2 to PA is a called strike 3, and he knew it. I'm not sure what he was looking for with 2 strikes, but he held the bat and then he nodded yes, and back to the bench he goes, 2 down.
Well, this is kind of like the breaking ball that Birkin threw to Drew. See, it started off the outside corner. He thinks it stays outside. Watch Martinez just turn the glove. So he didn't really drag it in, and a lot of times you'll get the call very subtly. I mean, excuse me, that was Varitek. Martinez doing the DH and Varitek catching today.
Matt Wieters through the middle. There's a base hit for Wieters as he stays hot. 3-game hitting streak now. Last night, Wieters had a 3-hit game, and what you really like about his game last night, Jim, is he had base hits to each of the outfields. Left field, center field, and right field. And coming into today's game, there's what he's done on the homestand.
Great homestand with, you know, game winner, 3-run home run the other night, and the home run to the opposite field of Russ Springer to win the ball game against Tampa Bay. I think what I liked about it last night is the hits came right-handed. He doesn't have as many at bats. Came in, hit him 214, so that number went up dramatically. And he gets on for Nick Markakis, who's trying to get going this last 2 weeks.
Markakis swings and misses on one. 348 against the Red Sox. Highest Oriole average against Boston since Miguel Tejada in 2005. But as Jim mentions, Nick is trying to find that stroke.
Well, yeah, right at the All-Star break, he got more upright. Now you can see him more crouched, more like he was in April, May, and June. And you know, when he made the change, he said it just felt a little more comfortable, felt like he had more leverage, so he hit some home runs right away. But then when you go in a struggle, you can see the 72 at bats without a home run. He's already gone over 100 at one point. I don't think I've ever thought he was a home run hitter. I think he was a guy that could hit home runs, but doesn't ever try to do it.
Fouls it back, 1-2.
So there's all kinds of different theories. Nobody hitting behind him. If that was really the case and they were pitching around him, then the walks would be up, but they're not.
One home run in the last 30 games. Aubrey Huff was traded 31 games ago.
But definitely you make your pitch or you walk him. But again, he's trying to get to 200 hits. He's trying to get to 100 RBI. There's a lot of dynamics in there. So you become a little more aggressive and again, I think there's probably another factor in there where you say, you know what, now that Huff's gone, I got to be the guy. And while he's a tremendous player, that's hard to do that because you get a little bit out of your skin. You're trying to do more than you're really capable of doing. He's a slashing type hitter. He's a George Brett type of hitter.
2-2 on Markakis. And strike three call. So Markakis down on strikes. Matsusaka gets 3 Ks. Base hit, a man left. Second inning coming up. 3-0 Boston. Today's contestant is Dana Mullinex of Fisherville, Virginia. Dana has a chance to win $99 worth of American Classics scratch-off tickets from the Maryland Lottery. For every Oriole home run hit in the game today, you can have a chance to win as well. Enter by logging on to MassonSports.com. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Old Glory out there in center field behind the bullpens out there in the picnic area. And there's your team spirit. The kids all decked out in the face paint. There's strike one to Alex Gonzalez. 9-1-2 in the second inning. Boston got 8 men to the plate in the first and scored 3 runs. And Jim mentioned in his start against Tampa on Tuesday, it was a 4-run first inning that got to Birkin. 3 of those came in on a home run by Pat Burrell, hit a 3-run home run, but then he settled down and the Orioles were able to come back and he ended up winning that game.
Unfortunately, you don't always get 10 runs, and that's going to be trouble right there. Pretty good pitch, bad result. Unless you're Alex Gonzalez and you're happy. Nice to be able to hit a ball about 25, 28 feet and get a base hit.
With 2 strikes, Turner was deep at third and just a tapper, swinging bunt.
Nothing you can do about it. So pick it up and say, oh, I got to pitch to Ellsbury with a man on.
So Gonzalez gets on base. Leadoff man on in each of the first 2 at-bats. Ellsbury walked, stole a base, and scored in the first inning. Shows bunt takes outside. The Red Sox, even though they have such a powerful lineup, Terry Francona will utilize the sacrifice. There are certain hitters in the lineup. He doesn't do a ton, but he'll do it more than you think. They have 19 sacks on the year, and Ellsbury at the plate has 6 of them. So when you already have a 3-0 lead, you want to get those add-on runs as early as you can, possibly a spot. And the other factor with him, he might be able to beat it out.
That's a good point. I would think, though, I want to get in the Oriole bullpen.
Sharply hit, base hit, right field.
And that's why you let him swing away, because Ellsbury, and we were talking about it before the game, I mean, we're talking about a young hitter that has really found his comfort zone. I mean, not only against the Orioles, I mean, that average came in at .416 against the O's this year, but hitting over 300. Good on-base percentage. The foot gets down. Watch that. It's perfect angle. This is what Dave Magadan talks about. You trigger the bat, your hands go back, your front foot gets down, you distinguish what the pitch is, and you put a good swing on it. And he has really become adept at it. And then, of course, when he gets on, not in this case because Gonzalez is in front of him, a single is a double because he has that kind of speed.
Dustin Pedroia takes a strike.
And you got Pedroia, who can handle the bat so well that you think, well, I want to get him to maybe ground the ball to the left side and get a double play ball. But we've seen him in this series just inside the out the ball and shoot it between first and second. And Brian Roberts is way up the middle.
Just inside, 1-1. Pedroia last year, American League MVP. 213 hits last season. He has 170 hits this year, which is still good for 10th most in the league. You really admire the passion in which he takes to the game. Fooled on that pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, good movement, a little more velocity. 88 to 91 in the first inning already. Now a little extra, and the ball runs in, and you could see him just trying to kind of shorten his swing, stay inside of it. If you're going well, that's the ball he puts in play. Unfortunately, he doesn't.
Here's the 1-2 from Birkin. Swung on and popped up, shallow right. Long run in from Markakis. He'll get there. And Nick has it for the out. 1 down in the Boston second inning. The $1 Mass and Maximum Access tickets are still available for the Friday and Sunday games of the Orioles' final home weekend. That's October 2nd through the 4th against the Blue Jays. These special $1 seats are going fast, so don't miss out. Reduced ticketing fees do apply. To get your Mass and Maximum Access seats, just get online, Orioles.com. So from one dangerous hitter to another, here is Victor Martinez.
About the only thing that Victor Martinez can't do when he gets in the batter's box is run well. So again, if you can get him to hit a ground ball, you might get out of here with a double play. You know, I was talking to Jason Birkin after that game where, you know, he gives up to 5 runs early on. And I said, what was the feel? And he said, you know what? I've tried everything. I've thrown more in the bullpen to get ready for the games because he had given up like, what, 32 first inning runs. And now it goes up to about 35 and 21 starts. It's just, yeah, I mean, you're behind the 8 ball before your team even comes up to bat when you're at home. And he said he just doesn't understand why he can't command his stuff in the first inning. You know, is it breathing? Is it adrenaline rush? It's what you got to try to identify. And if you can, then you get better.
Ball and a strike on Martinez. First and second, 1 down. Line, there's another base hit for Martinez. He has a 19-game hitting streak. Heading to the plate is Gonzalez. He will score. And the Red Sox lead is now 4-0.
See, that's why you don't give the Orioles an out in the first inning because, or in the second inning, because of the capabilities right here. It seems like with this lineup, you're almost always a hitter or 2 away from having a big inning. And again, once again, let the ball travel. Boom. Right back up the middle, and you hang a breaking ball, maybe you speed up the bat. Otherwise, Victor's happy to hit the ball right back up the middle.
So to second goes Ellsbury. Martinez now at first. Here's Youkilis. Outside, 1-0. Youkilis contributed to the rally in the first inning with a single and a run scored. High fly ball left field. He got a lot of it. Back it goes. Luke Scott reaches up and he makes the catch on the warning track. That must have had backspin because it looked like it was going to sail, and Luke Scott played it perfectly and hauls it in on the warning track for the out.
Yeah, probably a double in Fenway, but the overspin. And then it just kind of dives. U.S. Open type fly ball. A lot of topspin on it. And Luke's there. Made it look pretty easy, didn't he? They're not playing a lot of left field this year.
And Youkilis feels like he just missed it. 2 down. Here's Bay. And he takes a strike. Jason Bay is playing his way into a big payday this offseason. He will be a free agent. He was acquired in a trade with the Pirates. That was last year. 3rd in the league in home runs, 3rd in RBIs.
Well, if you're going to give Drew $75 million for 5 years, is what they gave him, what will you do to this guy? I mean, because they're similar players. He runs better than Drew does now, and he's got 13 steals, only been caught 3 times, leading the league in assists. Hits a lot better, obviously, in games they win. Home run guy. There you go. Great pitch there.
So Birkin gets him out on strike. Sox add a run. Strand 2, mid-second, 4-0 Boston. It was Youth Sports Day as several teams took advantage of the opportunity to parade around the field on a gorgeous Sunday at Oriole Park. Somebody walking their dog outside. You like to see that on a Sunday afternoon. And as we peer in from Eddie's camera out there in the bullpen picnic area, Boston with a 4-0 lead. And here come the Birds in the bottom of the second.
Walking the dog. That was like your Duncan Yo-Yo challenges when you used to.
Right. Except that was a real dog.
I know.
It looked like a lab.
That's right. You probably have a couple of hounds out of the compound, don't you?
Absolutely. Bobby the Springer Spaniel, Sadie the Border Collie. And then there's Monty, the other little dog.
3 dogs?
3 dogs.
Really?
And I've been watching them the last 3 days. I'm exhausted.
Wasn't that the band, the 3-Dog Night?
Yeah, back in the day. That's right.
So I guess your heating bills aren't too high in the winter.
No, not at all. Which is what that phrase meant.
Thank you. That's where I was going.
I know,
yeah,
I know.
Okay.
I'm playing along.
Okay.
I'm George, you're Gracie.
Can I be George?
Sure. Gracie got all the laughs, though.
Well, yeah, because she was Gracie.
Ball 3 to Luke Scott, who works the count to 3-0. Matsuzaka struck out 3 in the first. Wieters did get on with a 2-out single. Luke's got us 5 RBIs on the homestand. There's a lot of pop in that bat, but he has been very, very streaky in his tenure with the Orioles. And he takes strike 3 and 1. He just hasn't been able to find the stroke and then keep it somewhat consistent. It's been all peaks and valleys.
Well, he doesn't hit a lot of balls to left field, so he's a pull hitter, so that's why they're playing the shift. And you have to hit it through the shift. Not too many guys can do that. I mean,
pops up the 3-1 pitch, shallow center field. Ellsbury moving in on it, shading his eyes from the sun, and has it for the out and 1 down. Well, here's Ty Wigginton, and he found his stroke last night. Not only hit his first home run since August 2nd, he hit 2.
Yes, he did, and one of them off John Lester. You got to see Josh Reddick. Always talk about Air Jordan. It was Air Reddick trying to catch those balls going up the wall in left field, but he couldn't get to them. Of course, Ty was saying the biggest play that he made or did make was the ball that got through his legs last night. And he said, you know what, it's not that it was a tough play. He said, I was thinking about catching it and already clearing the runner to get the double play at first, and I never caught it. And he was talking about that's what happens. You know, you were kind of anticipating as a defensive player, at least the good ones do. And he said he just was 1 step ahead of what he should have. And that's a pretty good breaking ball. That's the way Buchholz has been able to get him out. And of course, Ty's always been a good high ball hitter. And last night, both of the home runs are coming on balls, inside middle, up in the zone.
0-2 on Wigginton, who was DHing today, and that's down and away. I was very impressed with Ty last night, waiting at his locker to talk about the error because it was a big play in the game, because it led to 5 unearned runs against McCrory and allowed Boston to break open what was a pretty close game at that point. And he stood there and he said, yep, that's the play you got to make. You cannot give Boston extra outs and extra base runners. They're just too good and too deep. Matsuzaka, 29 years old, in his 3rd season. Spent 8 years pitching in the major leagues in Japan.
Yeah, he can make some pitches. He's, for people that weren't around when Don Stanhouse was a reliever, Don's theory, let's take a look at his delivery, and again, never looks at home. Oh, there he is. Finally looked at home. There have been a lot of guys. Fernando Okajima doesn't look like he looks. He doesn't pick up the target till really late.
Grounded is short. Gonzalez is there. Wigginton's out, 2 down in the 2nd inning.
But going back to Don Stanhouse, who was a reliever with the Orioles, 79, 80, 81, I believe, or at least in that time frame, they used to call him, Earl Weaver used to call him 3-pack, because he would be smoking 3 packs of cigarette when he would come in to close a game. And his theory was very simple: never throw a strike till they force me to do it, because hitters in closed situations, close games, they're going to be apprehensive and they're going to expand the strike zone. That's pretty much it. We're looking at Don Stanhouse and a starter's close right here, because that's the way he usually pitches, you know, around the periphery of the plate. Right there's a good pitch to hit. But maybe we're going to see a different Dice K, because I think he learned his lesson that the Red Sox don't really need him. So if you want to get on board and be part of the party as they get into the postseason, you better do it their way. There's change up. That's the gyro ball, the change that just kind of tails away.
And in that first round, where it is best 3 out of 5, you don't need 5 starters, obviously. So you're looking at 4 at most, and then maybe one of those starters could go in the bullpen to be a long man. But their bullpen is very, very good. In fact, it is the best ERA in the American League. So if you're adding a pitcher there, is he the guy or somebody else?
Yeah, I can't imagine right now that you would pick Dice K, and I don't make the decisions for Theo Epstein, but I can't imagine that the way Buchholz has pitched, that you could not start him. He's been that good. And then Lester and Beckett in whatever order they choose to do it. But again, that's why this is a big game. Show that, hey, I can command my stuff.
Aubrey to center field, and that's going to fall base hit. So Michael Aubrey getting a start today is on with a 2-out single. 2 hits for the Birds each have come after the first 2 retired by Matsuzaka. The Red Sox magic number to clinching the wild card over Texas is still at 9. The Yankees could be the first team to clinch a postseason berth today. They would need to win at Seattle and have Texas lose at home. The Rangers are already in the bottom of the 4th. They have an unusual situation in Arlington today because the new football stadium for the Dallas Cowboys is right across the street from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. So the Rangers today had to play at 12:05 local time because the Cowboys play tonight at 7:20 local time, so they have to share the parking lot. So
it's a Sunday night football game. The Giants and the Cowboys.
As
they open, it's only what, a $1.3 billion
something like that. With a scoreboard that gets in the way of the punters.
Can't be perfect for $1.3 billion, do you think?
But it is.
It's huge. We saw it earlier in the year.
Specifications are there. It's 90 feet in the air, and that's all it takes. Which to me is pretty amazing because if you think about an NFL punter, how powerful their legs are, and that's home plate to first base, except going straight up. It's not that high.
Ray Guy. I mean, remember Ray Guy of Oakland? He used to talk about hang time.
Yeah.
They'd use his name in the definition.
Yep. Well, Texas has a 4-3 lead at home on the Angels. That early start in Arlington.
And then a big game in Minnesota. The Twins have won 16 out of the last 25, and the Tigers, even though yesterday Verlander had a 2-1 lead, they lost a ball in the roof.
Welcome back, ground ball towards third. Gonzalez will throw off balance, and he gets turned around. And the inning is over. 2 out, hit the man left. We played 2 at Camden Yards. Boston with a 4-0 lead. Course here at Oriole Park as the fans go out to get some snacks. What a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. 4-0 Boston. And Birkin gets ahead of J.D. Drew, 0-1 leading off in the Boston third inning. Drew, Lowell, and Veritek. Taken for a ball, 1-1. Drew struck out his first at bat, one of the 2 strikeouts for Jason Birkin, who averages 5 per 9 innings.
Yeah, his season high is 8, and that was back against the Mets back in June on the 18th, who struck out 8. Season high for walks is against the Red Sox in Fenway in his last start, a couple starts ago. And they make you work. They go up there, they watch the film, they know exactly what you can do, what your tendencies are. And they'll cordon off the plate until they get 2 strikes, looking either in or out.
Drew thought he had ball 4.
And he's willing to go down. He's always had, and one of the reasons they got him was because of his on-base percentage. right there, catching the edge of the plate.
Fouls it back. Jason Birkin, unlike Brian Mattis and unlike Chris Tillman, is not in danger of the overexposure innings-wise. Andy McPhail had said it's about 20% more from the year before with a young pitcher, but he came into this start with less innings than last year. High fly ball left center field. Scott and PA. Scott and PA. And PA calls off Scott and has it for the out. And one down. Well, don't forget Friday, October 2nd, the final fireworks night of the season. Gather up the family and friends and enjoy an explosive night of fun here at Oriole Park. Plus, all weekend long, it's Fan Appreciation Weekend and special $1 maximum access tickets still available for the Friday and Sunday game that final weekend. So to get your tickets, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. But last year, Birkin pitched 145 and 2/3 innings. With his 2 innings today, he was at 143 and 2/3. So now 144 with an out here. So he is still below last year's numbers, so he should be fine over the final 2 weeks of the season, based on the 20% that Andy McPhail says is the barometer. And he said it's not exact. I mean, you know, you have to see how they feel and how they look, but.
Well, Brian Mattis wanted to pitch more, but he certainly agreed with the Orioles. If that's what they want, that's what he'll do. But he said, I don't feel tired. And then talked about all the innings he pitched in college, you know, with the inter-squad games. I mean, when you play in a good baseball program out of the University of San Diego, you just play all those spring balls. A great pitch right there. Good running fastball. Lowell will give Doug Gettings a look. Let's this ball run back left to right. And he thought it was low. But again, high ball hitter, and it probably was low. But not low enough. Still remember Davey Johnson, Gary Bell. 1-0 ball game. Bases loaded. Took a knee-high fastball, 3-2. 2 outs. Bases loaded. Came back, told Hank Bauer, well, I thought it was low. And Hank said it was close enough to call, close enough to swing at, young man. And Davey was a rookie that year. I think he learned a lesson.
Yeah, Veritek pulls a single in the right field. He's 1 out of 2. Sox have had base hits in each of their first 3 innings against Birkin. This one comes with 2 men down. The Orioles have had only 8 men come to the plate already. Alex Gonzalez is coming up, so Boston has gone through its order twice already in the first 3 innings.
Well, 2 walks and 7 hits will do that. And again, that wasn't a horrible curveball. It's just that, I mean, here we are for Jason. He just, at this point, still hasn't learned to take a little bit off and throw it off the outside corner. And again, that's a field pitch. And Rick Kranitz, the Oriole pitching coach, says when he gets in trouble, he just spins a little bit. So what happens is you get under your curveball and it just comes into the lefties, and it's kind of right where the bat is, and that's what Veritek did. I mean, Jason Veritek came in 3 for 25 and make it 3 for 26 after going out the first time in the month of September. I got to think that his bat's not that particularly quick, so the breaking ball speeds it up, and then when you compound it by hanging it, it's a good pitch to hit. And that's why he hit.
Well, Veritek now 37 in his 12th season. A lot of wear and tear on that body. The Red Sox captain. He was given that C that he wears on his uniform as the Red Sox captain to begin the 2005 season. And he is the first player designated as the captain of the team since Jim Rice, who this year was elected to the Hall of Fame. Hard hit ball, base hit down the line, past the dive of Justin Turner. Luke Scott digging it out. He'll get it back in. Veritek holds it third, and Alex Gonzalez at second base has a 2-for-2 day.
Well, another one of those great hitting counts. 3-1. You got to throw a strike. Hitter can look really pretty much on his terms. Reverse the counts, you know, into a pitcher's count. So again, just something inside. Turner playing off the bag as he should. Can't get it. You could see the dive. And then down in the corner. Came off the pads nicely. Luke Scott played it well. The runners at second and third.
Well, here's Ellsbury again. 3 innings, 3 at bats already for the Boston center fielder. So you turn the lineup over yet again. Off speed pitch for a strike. Ellsbury has walked and scored and single. Youkilis contributed in the rally in the first inning to take advantage of Ellsbury leading off with a walk. That got the bases loaded, and from there Boston went on to score 3 in the first. In the second, it was Martinez with the RBI, and now 8 and 9 get on after 2 men down for Jacoby Ellsbury.
Good pitch right there, but a good swing, and he just fouls it off. That was a good breaking ball. And the number that kind of horrifies you is even with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 1 out of 3, 3-3-3, 336 before you get to 2 outs. So that's why the ERA is high as it is. Every time if 1 out of 3 get a hit in runners in scoring position, that's exceptionally high.
1-2 on Ellsbury as Birkin tries to get out of it. High fly ball left center field, slicing away from PA. A long run, he won't get it, and it bounces up into the stands. There's a 2-run ground rule double for Ellsbury, and the Boston lead is now 6-0.
Well, a high breaking ball, and it looks like it's going to be a fly ball off the bat. But again, you talked about backspin. This ball has backspin on it, and it just keeps going, and it blows away from Felix Pie, who can cover some ground in the outfield. Veritek with the 2-out single. I mean, the Red Sox that score 42% of their runs with 2 outs. Only Atlanta better, and they don't score as many runs. It's just an amazing number. But again, it's veteran hitters, as Chris Waters, who came in and pitched, but on Friday night pitched very well against the Red Sox. So again, you know, breaking ball that was hittable, and the wind just kept kiting it away from Pia.
Here's Pedroia, and he takes a strike. Pedroia and J.D. Drew are the only 2 hitters who have not yet been on base in this game. Pedroia has flied out twice. Hard hit ball off the glove of Birkin towards the middle. Roberts gets there. That'll save a run for the moment. Throw behind the runner, but Ellsbury back to the base.
Yeah, you got to Marlo Hale. He's looking to see if the ball goes into center to the third base coach, and then you got a very heads-up base runner. So Pedroia now 1 for 3. Birkin keeps another run from scoring by deflecting this ball. Goes up in the air. Brian Roberts makes a nice play. What's this fake? And he knows. And Ellsbury diving back in. Heads up base running, and by taking a look, looked over his shoulder.
4 consecutive hits after Birkin retired the first 2 batters. Wieters ordered out to the mound to stall here to try to get Waters more time to get loose in the bullpen.
Yeah, this isn't even a moment of matchups. It's just a matter of when you want to get 10 hits already, and it doesn't matter if you want Martinez to turn around and hit right-handed or left-handed. It's just not going very well for Jason Birkin, and Dave Tremblay looking for a sign.
Victor Martinez been on base twice already. Runners on the corners with 2 men down. There's a strike. Breaking ball in the outside corner.
Yeah, the numbers indicate that, you know, Birkin, I mean, it came in, lefties hitting 332. So again, that means 1 out of every 3 left-handers that Jason faces get on. Right-handers are 3 out of 10. So if you want to hang around, you got to get Martinez out here. Simple as that.
Misses outside, 1-1. Six runs on 10 hits. And the top 3 hitters in this lineup have now each batted in each of the first 3 innings. This is high, 2-1. Tough day for the 25-year-old right-hander. Bounce towards second base. Brian Roberts fields. He goes down on a knee to make sure he gets it. And the inning ends. But Boston adds two. They've scored in each at bat. Mid-third, 6-0 Sox. In October 2nd through the 4th, it's your last chance to experience 2110 Utah Street, presented by First Fidelity Mortgage. Of course, named for Adam Jones and Nick Markakis. For $21, you get a reserved Utah Street bleacher seat, plus an exclusive I Live at 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. Now, Saturday, October 3rd, your last chance this year to experience 2110 Utah Street. Each of the other games offered in that area have been sold out, so order your seats now and don't miss out. 2110 Utah Street, 888-848-BIRD, or online at Orioles.com. Cesar Esteuras against Matsusaka, takes ball one.
Yeah, Dice says, saying, hey, what a country. I get them out, they get me more runs. He did go 18-3 last year. And didn't pitch a lot of innings. 167 2/3 innings in 29 starts. I'm reading in the notes where the only guy to win that many games and pitch so few innings was Roy Face, who must have been a reliever back in 1959.
Last year, the opponents batted just .211 against Matsusaka. This year, it is 9 starts. Of course, he spent most of the year on the disabled list. The opponents were batting .350.
So you know he's hurt, or he's not in shape, or whatever you want to call it, and shoulder strains. But he very rarely gives in to hitters. It's just the way he pitches. More aggressive today.
Well, he has to have that confidence that even with men on base, he's going to make a pitch and get out of a jam, because he'd rather walk you than you put the ball in play and maybe hit it out.
And again, like a lot of Japanese pitchers, you have it where you kind of rock back, you get your momentum. Okay, there's a rhythm right there. There you go.
Esteuras fouls it back.
I mean, just think about it. You don't have to worry about anybody stealing when you're in the windup. You can use the pitching rubber. I mean, really is a fulcrum to explode to the home plate. Nice game. Well, they have him listed at 6 feet, 185.
He might be back to that after what they put him through in Florida. 2-2 on Esteuras, leading off the Oriole third. Bounce towards the hole. Alex Gonzalez has it go off his glove, and Esteuras is on. That should be a base hit to begin the inning. So for the first time today, the Orioles get their leadoff man on as Esteuras able to get an infield single.
Yeah, starting to hit a little bit better from the left side. And right there, you know, it's going to be a base hit if Gonzalez can't catch it. He's been that good in this series. So he's trying to circle it and get to it as quickly as he can, and off the heel of the glove.
Brian Roberts for his second at bat. He struck out his first at bat. Bounce towards the middle. Pedroia has it to Gonzalez. One to spin the throw, and he got it. 4-6-3 and nicely turned up the middle. 2 men down.
And nicely pitched in the sense that Dice K throws a strike. And when you throw a strike, there is a chance of good things happening. And they turn the double play. Nice plays by Pedroia. And see Gonzalez get rid of it quickly. In the neighborhood. That's all you got to do.
Well, he touched it once.
Yes.
Before he.
So what if you have the ball or not? It doesn't matter.
Here's Felix P.A. Fouls it back. Well, the acquisition of Alex Gonzalez really goes along the lines of what you were talking about earlier, that they're built to win now. They had a need at short. Lowry was supposed to be the shortstop. He kept getting hurt. And finally, they just said, you know what? We've got to go out and get a shortstop. And they got Alex Gonzalez, and he has calmed down that side of the infield.
Yeah, and it's not the first time they've done it. They did it in 2004 when they got Orlando Cabrera. They traded Nomar Garciaparra, who won a batting title. Who beloved shortstop, but he had lost range. Power was down. Injured all the time. They went out and got a Cabrera, and they won the World Series for the first time in 86 years, 86 or 87 years.
PA to first, and that is a foul ball.
And if you talk to their general manager, and he would tell you that defense is as important as offense, because if you want to have good pitching, you better have guys go get the ball. I mean, the Orioles have a good defense. That doesn't mean you're going to pitch well, but if you do have good pitching, you can make it better by defensing well. I mean, Jason Bea, we talked about it, how good an all-around player he is, because you look at him as a guy that hits a lot of home runs, but he's got 15 assists. A lot of it has to do with Fenway Park.
That one hung, but PA out in front.
I think Jason Bea hadn't made an error since last year in August. 190 games. So hitter, defender, Ellsbury, terrific center fielder. Drew. People go, well, for $15 million a year, you ought to do more offensively, but he's a very good right fielder, and right field in Fenway is a tough place to play. Got a lot of room out there.
1-2 on PA. And there's another breaking ball that bends back in. PA says it was outside, but Doug Eddings disagrees, and the inning is over. A base hit, none left. Will lead to the fourth. PA called out on strikes, and the Red Sox have a 6-0 lead. Beautiful day at Oriole Park. 6-0 Boston on 10 hits, and the day is over for Jason Birkin, who has lifted 3 innings, 6 earned runs on 10 hits. He struck out 3, walked 2, and both of the walks, which came in the first inning, did come around the score. So here is the left-hander Chris Waters coming on.
Yeah, the Red Sox saw him on Friday night. He came in against the Yankees a week ago. That's where the inflated numbers pitched pretty well the other night. So a starter last year, 11 starts for the Orioles, 3 and 5. Actually had some pretty good games. And then again struggled in some road games. ERA of over 8 runs a game, but good at home. So he's a finesse pitcher, knows how to pitch. Euclid coming in over 325 hitter against left-handed pitching.
Euclid pops it up. Michael Aubrey backs up. First baseman has a play. And has it for the out, 1 down. You can see all the fielders are having a lot of trouble with this high sky today. Very few clouds, if any, and bright sunshine. And when the baseball goes up there, you really have to shade your eyes from the glare to make sure you have it in your sights.
Well, how about the Tigers? Again, go back to the Twins. In Minnesota yesterday, put in Don Kelly, a young outfielder with the expanded roster for defense, and he loses a ball in the ceiling at the Metrodome. Verlander ahead 2-1, throwing 98 miles per hour. The whole game turns around. In fact, you wonder if maybe the whole season will turn around. And then again, the roof ball, where it goes up, you think you see it, you lose sight, you never find it.
The Tigers lead in the Central now down to 2 games on Minnesota. Minnesota already has a 1-0 lead on the Tigers. They're in the 2nd inning at the Metrodome.
And how about Carl Pavano? 4-0 with an ERA of under 2. If we look at the magic numbers, playoff contenders. There we go.
Now the 9 for the Yankees is to clinch the division.
So what the magic number for the Twins would be 15. Right? The Tigers are 13. And they're 2 back.
Yep. You mentioned the Yankees can qualify for a postseason berth with a win and a Texas loss, because that would guarantee them at least a wild card, as Jason Bay will hit this one out. That is way back, nearly to the walkway in left field. So Bay goes out for his 35th. And it is 7-0 Boston, and the Red Sox have scored in each of their first 4 at-bats.
Yeah, Luke Scott took a couple of steps and just kind of turned around and took a gander at how far this ball is going to go. I mean, terrific hitter. And he was with the Pirates when he came up, hurt his shoulder, got healthy. I tell you, one of the best moves they ever did was get rid of Manny Ramirez. Threw the whole team under the bus. Told them they had to forgive a couple of $20 million years. And they went out and got Bay. See you later, Manny.
JD Drew to center field. PA moves over, reaches up, and has it for the out. 2 men down. Well, fans, on Saturday, October 3rd, you can celebrate Oktoberfest here at Oriole Park. That's right. First 10,000 fans, 21 and over at the game against Toronto, receive an Orioles tankard presented by Guinness. Plus, all weekend long, Fan Appreciation Weekend. Gather up your friends one more night at Oriole Park here at 2009, with tickets starting as low as $9. 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com. Mike Lowell now. He has a 2 RBI single and 2 trips. Right field, Markakis towards the corner. And Nick has it for the out. The inning ends, but Boston scores again. They've scored in each of their first 4 at-bats. Orioles coming up, down by 7. Orioles are on the move after the game. They'll head to Toronto. Upcoming schedule the next 3 nights in Toronto. Then a day off in Cleveland on Thursday. And then a series at Jacobs Field next weekend against the Indians with a day game on Sunday to close it out. And then from there, the Orioles go to Tampa for a 4-game series. So a long road trip coming up, the final road trip of the 2009 season. Dave Tremblay's team down 7-0. Orioles have only 3 base hits off Matsuzaka. Wieters, Markakis, Scott for the Birds here in the 4th. And strike 1 to Wieters, who has 1 of the 3 base hits. Matt now with a 3-game hitting streak. He said 10 base hits on this homestand. Orioles are 2-4 on the homestand and trailing here. Ground ball towards the hole. Gonzalez has it bounce past him. And Wieters is on. That ball was heading towards the hole. He was being shaded up the middle by Gonzalez, and Gonzalez got there but couldn't glove it.
Yeah, watch this bad hop. Great angle right here to see the kind of jump he gets. And right there the ball comes up almost. See him paces over another 6 inches, takes it off the side of the face.
That is a base hit, so Wieters is 2 for 2, his 21st multi-hit game, and here's Markakis. Orioles have not forced Matsuzaka to really labor here in any of their at-bats. They're hitting the first game with 2 down. They're hitting the second game with 2 down. Now for a second straight inning, they've had the leadoff man on, but last inning he was helped out by a double play ball. Markakis takes 1-1. Nick is just 2 for 23 on this homestand. That is very un-Markakis-like. And in September, he is just 13 for 61 for the month. You don't usually see Markakis with a batting clip at any stretch of 213, but that's where he's at in September.
But when the bat gets a little bit slow, it's when you see the slumps, and it just, it just happens. That's part of the, the Angels. Remember where they came in? Probably looked like the best hitting team in the history of baseball. They went 45 innings without a home run about a week later.
Markakis off the end of the bat, pops it up. Gonzalez at shortstop calls, and he's got it for the out. Markakis is 0 for 2 and 1 down on the Oriole 4th.
Not getting to the pitches that he would like to get to. Late on the ones that are in the hitter's count. And then starting Monday, he might be hitting nothing but line drives. That's the peaks and valleys of a baseball season. And that's why everybody talks about, you got to be in shape, and that's an important part of the game. But how about emotional? The mental aspect of it.
Wieters on at first with 1 down. Luke Scott is 0 for 1. He flied out his first at bat. Orioles have not yet had 2 men on in the same inning. Tremblay looking on with the sunglasses on in this bright day. There's a strike. 1-1 on Luke.
It appears to me that Dice K has a lot of movement today. Some of it is just the natural movement of his fastball, where he'll turn it over, he'll run a little bit, but also he's cutting balls and throwing change-ups. And again, a lot of times will stay out of the middle of the plate. There's a change-up that misses.
I've heard you talk all the time about, to be a starter on a contending team, the #1 aspect that you need to bring to the mound is consistency. Matsuzaka in his career since signing with the Red Sox, he has 18 wins at Fenway Park. He has 17 wins in road starts.
And they're not a great road team. Better last year than this year. If they win today, they'll get to 500. How about the Rockies? They're 39-38 on the road this year, and they have a wild card lead in the National League. They have never ever in their existence had a winning record on the road. If they would maintain it, this would be the first year ever. Well, numbers like that I find So intriguing. Never.
3-1, high fly ball, left center field. Back it goes. Jason Bay looks up, and that ball is gone. Luke Scott gets the Orioles on the board with his 24th. It is a 7-2 Boston lead.
Now we'll call that a hit to left field. The 9th of the year. Wind is really gusting here in a sense because the ball up in the air is going. We saw that with Jason Bay. Look at the target. Look at the ball. It ends up on the outside third of the plate. And again, Luke Scott is so strong, and once it gets up, it's gone.
So the Orioles are trying to chip back in. So now it is a 5-run Boston lead. Still only one down. Here's Wigginton who fouls it back. 75th career home run for Luke. His 24th on the year, which leads the team. And it's his 3rd home run on the homestand, which gives you an idea that maybe he's starting one of those Luke Scott streaks.
Well, I think it started in New York. We had all the rain. You came in and did a week ago Sunday game, but on Friday we had the rain delay. The Orioles won that game for Tillman 10-4. But even on that ball game and then on Saturday, he hit 3 or 4 balls that normally would have been home runs. So it's something to build on, even though you make counts.
Wigginton can't reach that one. It's 0-2. That ball had a lot of movement.
Yeah, big slider.
Matsusaka has struck out 4. He has not yet walked a batter, which is very un-Daisuke-like. He's averaged over 4 walks per game in his big league career because of his style.
Well, he didn't even average 5 innings to start last year, which is very debilitating to your bullpen. Yet he was 18-3.
And his ERA last year was 2.90, pitching home games at Fenway Park and pitching against the AL East. He has 11 wins in his career against the AL East. 11 of his 35.
Well, he wrote the book on never showing emotion. You'll never ever, if you look at him, he could have the bases loaded 3-2 and you would never know it.
Wigginton checks in time. A ball and 2 strikes. There's the sun over Oriole Park. High sky today. A hint of autumn in the air today.
A hint.
Tomorrow, I guess, is the first day of autumn.
Sounds like you're doing a wine tasting.
Yeah, so how about that? Today's the last day of summer.
Feels like it. Very pretty. Huh? Average temperature is supposed to be 80 today.
It was 73 at first pitch. Oh, look, they're starting to turn.
Yeah, they just don't water those trees.
Come on, play along.
Okay.
I was on an autumn theme. Guys are helping me out. Popped up, shading his eyes is Pedroia. And he's got it for the out. Oh, that was a tougher play than you realize. 2 men down. He had the glasses on, the glove up, and his hand, and he still barely got it.
Well, can we go back to those trees for just a moment? Wait a minute. Watch this. Let's see if we can find the paintbrush of Mother Nature. How's that?
Look at the orange and the gold. And
I like the paintbrush of Mother Nature.
Yes, you do.
Keith Jackson used that. Keith Jackson used that in the.
I appreciate you playing along with me.
The opening.
Half inning later.
The opening. I'm listening to you.
Thank you. Well, that's the first step.
Yeah. Well,
you don't play along, I mean.
Yeah. We know. No, I always listen. I just don't always know what tune you're playing. Okay.
0-1 on Aubrey with 2 down.
82 playoffs. That's the way Keith opened the telecast in Milwaukee. Used to have the
Keith Jackson
veterans home up in the right field, and they kind of pan across. Ooh, the paintbrush of Mother Nature.
Gotcha.
And I got flat fog goodbye.
Oh, you mean that's not even your line?
No.
Oh.
That's why I'm giving credit where it's due.
Aubrey pulls it down the line, foul.
And I'll start quoting you when you come up with some really good stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna start working on that, partner.
I want you to go home tonight.
All right.
And with a hint, go to your writers, Garrett.
Rehearse the ad-libs.
Yeah, well, that's
come
what
up
it's
with
all
a few
about.
lines, so you can steal them.
No, I'll give you credit for it.
Thank you.
I'll use them, but I'll credit you.
Aubrey pulls it foul past T-Bone Shelby.
Nice little stroke here. Yeah, single his last time up. Doesn't overswing.
Tell you what, he could pick him at first base. Remains to be seen which direction the Orioles will go to try to add power bats to this lineup. That's high.
Well, yeah, and who are you trying to beat? We always talk about the teams at the top are the Yankees. Teixeira hit 2 more yesterday, so he's got what, 37 home runs, I guess, 2 behind Pena. Then you got Euclid with 25, usually playing first base for the Red Sox. Last year he hit 29.
And Aubrey goes down on strikes to end it. Number 5 for Matsusaka, but Luke Scott gets the Orioles on the board as Luke hits his 24th. 7-2 Boston.
Early on, Jason Bay, RBI single. And then the double by Ellsbury. 6 runs, 10 hits off of Jason Birkin. Then Jason Bay with his 35th home run. The Orioles would come back to Luke Scott with a 2-run shot. His 24th home run of the season. So Birkin struggles. Just did not have one of those days. Not a great stuff. Not great command. Luke Scott the 2-run home run. And then Jason Bay. Flu-like symptoms apparently are gone. Home run single. The Red Sox up 7-2.
So what the Orioles need here from Waters is a shutdown inning. Boston has scored in each of their first 4 at-bats. Varitek fouls it back, batting right-handed for the first time today. Varitek in his 12th season, age 37. They brought him back on a 1-year contract, and it's probably unlikely that he'd be able to stick with them next year because you don't envision him becoming a backup unless at this stage of his career he feels, well, if I'm going to be a backup, I may as well be a backup at Boston.
Right, and he's certainly I mean, the one thing he brings to the table is preparation behind the plate.
Popped up. Michael Aubrey at first has a play. And Waters gets the first out and 1 down in the 5th. Well, you could celebrate Oktoberfest at Oriole Park. on Saturday, October the 3rd. A special pregame themed buffet in the Camden Yards picnic area in the bullpen area. Enjoy German foods, beer selections from Guinness, Harp, and Smittix, and more. Space is limited, so don't miss your chance to celebrate Oktoberfest and experience Oriole Park in a fun new way. 888-848-BIRD or online Orioles.com.
It's right next to where you and Rick Dempsey do the.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
So you'll be snacking.
You know what? That might be the day that I watch the entire game from out there. I mean, if there's all this great stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I'm sure you're going to meet some people you can get some ab libs from.
I'm going to work on that for you. I'll send you an email before the Friday game in Cleveland so you can get a jump on me.
That's right. I'm going to Cleveland, aren't I?
I'll meet you there. It's a great town. You could go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I've been there.
Musical knowledge.
I'll go again.
I'm pretty sure this is an anniversary year, so they should have a nice display going on. I know Bruce Springsteen's doing a big concert in New York City to raise money for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, that's a great cause, yes. I went during the '95 World Series.
They've updated the exhibit since then. Here's a bouncer to third. Turner's first chance. 2 down.
Yeah, my first All-Star game in 1970. I thought I was going to go, just kind of watch, have a good time. I knew Earl Weaver didn't like me because he made me start. And I had to go to the luncheon, and they asked me where I had gotten this particular tie. And I said, well, actually, I bought it in Cleveland. I said, you know, come to think of it, there's not a whole much else to do in Cleveland but go look for ties. And I said, no, really, it was a gift from Tom Seaver for us letting him win the World Series. And anyway, they kind of laughed. And you know, I went to Cleveland, and they kind of wrote an editorial about how baseball players waste their time and all that, and they don't take advantage of things going on in their cities and whatever. And there's a lot to be said about that. So I saw the writer the next day, and I said, nice article. I said, you know, I tried to go to the Museum of Natural Art. It was closed. You know, I went to everything was closed. And I said, so I went back to sleep. I got up early. I tried to take your advice. Some towns are better than others.
Yes. 1-2 on Jacoby Ellsbury as Waters tries to get a 3-up, 3-down inning.
Actually, it was Natural History and Museum of Modern Art.
Okay.
MoMA. MoMA. Museum of Modern Art.
Strike 3 ball. What an inning for Chris Waters. 3-up, 3-down go the Red Sox. So the Orioles got 2 in the bottom of the 4th, coming back up. Ellsbury called out on strikes, and the Sox go 3-up, 3-down. The Orioles will travel to Toronto. Game 1 of a 3-game set against the Blue Jays. Chris Tillman will be on the mound against left-hander David Percy for the Blue Jays. Coverage on MASN begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by AT&T, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock on MASN HD. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN. There's the matchup.
There you go. I mean, Tillman throwing the ball very, very well. Age 21.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. That'll be you next Saturday. Or no.
Yeah. No, 2 Saturdays. 2 Saturdays.
2 Saturdays. I won't be in Cleveland. I'll be here.
No, but next weekend is Cleveland. 2 Saturdays.
I know that. I know exactly when I'm going to Cleveland. Yeah, Oktoberfest is where.
You got to wait till it's October to have Oktoberfest. See? See, you can take that line.
Yes, I think I'll skip
All
that.
right, I'm starting slow. I'm working my way up to Keith Jackson lines.
Ooh.
Here's Justin Turner, the rookie, getting a start at third base today. He's 0 for 1. And there's a strike. Matsusaka has allowed 2 runs. The Orioles do have 5 hits. They've had a hit in each inning, but last inning was the first time they had 2 men out in the same inning. Pitch taken high, 1-1.
Yeah, I think you want to get him pitching from the stretch a little more. It's funny when you talk about people, they say, well, you know, he's not as deceptive because there's not as much going on when he has to pitch from the stretch. But right here, the little hesitation, hides the ball well. Tremendous leverage. And the pitch count a lot higher than it was in his last start. Yeah, the postseason come looming. You don't want to get a C if you're Dice K.
Ground ball slowly at the short. Gonzalez has it and throws to first to get Justin Turner 1 down. Well, Jim and I want to send our special birthday greetings to Mr. Al Bowers of Havre de Grace, who watches every Orioles game on Masson. Today is celebrating his 80th birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
So happy birthday to Mr. Bowers. Son Joe works down the hall at O's Productions. Big fan of Jim Palmer, I'm told.
I'm big in Havre de Grace.
Astura's first ball swinging, pops it up. Pedroia again battling the sun. Has it for the out and 2 men down. It's a nice community right on the water.
Oh, yeah. It's up the road a little bit.
Hartford County. Along the shores of the Susquehanna River.
You know where the mouth of the Susquehanna River is?
Cooperstown, New York.
Yes, you are, young man. You're correct. Little stream. Go over a little bridge, and there's a little sign that says that's where it all starts.
And where does it end? In Havre de Grace.
It ends there?
Well, it goes into the Chesapeake.
Well, that's what I mean. It goes into the bay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, technically the river ends there.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, like when you take the train north to New York City, you go over the Susquehanna River and you go from
very much so, yeah.
Hartford County to Cecil County. Well, that's where it is. I mean, I know technically it doesn't end.
You got to have all this. You go over that bridge, you get the condos down there, and everybody's out on their boats.
Oh yeah, it's a nice spot.
Not in the winter, but in the summer.
Well, this time of year, maybe. 73 degrees.
Last day of summer.
Roberts swings through it, 1 and 2.
But you do know that Christmas is just around the corner.
It is?
Yes. See, you don't listen to Gary Thorne and myself all the time.
No.
I mean, you have to get Rick Dempsey's Home Run Holiday DVD or CD that's coming out.
I've heard a little bit about that.
Well, I heard it in the training room the other day.
Here's the 1-2 to Roberts outside, 2 and 2. Do you make a cameo on this?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, Tim McCarver's got a new CD out. Great American Standards.
Sings?
Yes. Even better with a little Pinot Noir.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if he's got a band for, a lot of, he grew up in Memphis, Tim McCarver. So I think a lot of the musicians backed him on this. I was just reading about it. You can't get it in any music store. You have to go to Amazon.com. And it's only $13.95, so it seems pretty reasonable. But he got a good review.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about Dave Tremblay. I don't know when Dave's CD's coming out. But
does he sing?
No, but it seems like it's fashionable. Rick, I always knew Rick Dempsey could sing. He's got a great lounge act.
Roberts fouls it back.
Comedy. Little dance. Parents were in burlesque. Yeah, it all comes together, Jim. And you work with him. How come I know this?
I didn't know it was going to be a quiz. I would have studied.
It's not a quiz. It's the whole body of work. We know he's a great catcher, 24 years, MVP, 83 World Series, but it's everything else. That's what makes Rick Dempsey Denver.
Do you have like publishing rights to this or something?
No.
Are you like his agent or handler? Oh, you're his people.
Part of his people.
You're Denver's people.
And he's got people. Does he ever?
2-2 on Roberts, 2 outs, and none on. And it's fouled back. Matsusaka has struck out 5. He still has not walked a batter.
Well, the Orioles need to do what the Red Sox do so well, and that is get some two-out runs. A 2 spot right here would get Terry Francona, who we just saw. Think about when am I going to go to the bullpen. Pitch count at what, 89?
And there's a base hit for Brian Roberts, left center field. Ellsbury over trying to keep it to a single, won't be able to do so. And there's double number 54 for Brian Roberts.
Yeah, 60 still well within reach. That just goes the other way after fouling off the good pitches, and boy, did he make a nice job of covering the down and away. Right there, I mean, boy, what a great angle of what it takes staying behind the ball, head to the ball.
So 54 doubles. He now has 70 extra base hits. And there are the league leaders, a healthy lead on Billy Butler. So he is now tied for 21st all-time in most doubles in a season.
So not nearly as efficient. 93 pitches in 6 innings against the Angels in his last start. This is the 91st right here to Felix PA. And only 4 2/3 innings.
It's a pretty elite list with the all-time doubles in single seasons. With each double, he moves up a spot. He just went for, he was tied for 28th. Now he's tied for 21st with his 54th. And with one more, he'll be tied for 18th.
And then you couple the frequency that he's been able to do that. He's up there with Paul Wainer and Chris Speaker, Stan Musial. That's pretty select. Guys that have done it more than 3 times, 50 doubles. Pedroia had more last year than Brian, but
Pedroia plays in 54 last year.
And nothing against him because he's a marvelous player, but the Green Monster is a pretty inviting target.
Brian Roberts, switch hitter, uses the whole field. Sharply hit. Oh, gloved by Martinez at first. And PA's out, and that ends the inning. That may have been the hardest hit ball in the game, as PA couldn't get it by Martinez, who went down to get it and save a run. Orioles get a 2-out double, 1 left. Martinez takes away a base hit. The Red Sox lead stays at 5. Up with the Maryland SPCA to create a very special souvenir for O's fans. You can pick up your copy of the 2010 Orioles Pet Calendar. Inside, you get 16 months of your favorite Orioles players, their pets, and some lovable dogs and cats from the SPCA. Proceeds will benefit the Maryland SPCA and their work with local homeless pets. You get your Orioles Pet Calendar online at Orioles.com. And here is Pedroia against Chris Waters, leading off in the Boston 6th inning. He's worked the count to 2-0. Martinez and Youkilis on deck. There's a strike.
Yeah, Pedroia said that's even low on me.
Hunter Wendelstedt and Ryan Roberts engaged in conversation.
The breaking ball gets him off the plate. You look at Chris Waters and you see a little Jamie Watt, Moyer in a sense. Both left-handed, maybe throws a little bit harder. Changes speeds well.
Line down the line, that slices back foul, and the count goes full. Jim, the Angels now have the lead in Texas, Los Angeles of Anaheim. 3 in the 6, so the Angels lead the Rangers 6-5, and the Tigers have tied Minnesota. That is a 1-1 game in the 5th. The Tigers are trying to get out of there with a 3-game lead. A Minnesota win, and the Tigers are only 1 up on the Twins. Ground ball towards the middle. Cesar Stills can't get there. There's a base hit for Pedroia.
Yeah, you're getting the idea that Pedroia wants to hit 300 again. We talked about being the MVP last year with 213 hits. And why not? Well, the amazing thing about him is that hit a home run on the first time up this year, then went almost 2 months until he hit another one. And he said, I have no idea how that happened. I don't try to hit home runs, I just swing hard. It was a play Victor Martinez made to end that last inning.
Martinez will bat right-handed against Chris Waters. Takes low, nice scoop there by Matt Wieters. That is really improving behind the plate as he gets acclimated with this pitching staff.
I was talking to the catching instructor for the Red Sox, Gary Tuck, who did a nice job with Veritek over the years. He started with the Yankees, and he was with Jorge Posada came up, and he said, boy, what a difference. Unbelievable how much better Matt Wieters is in just such a short time. Better target, more comfortable, and then the hitting aspect presents the target so much better, throwing better.
Martinez rips it into left field for a single. So here comes Boston again. 2 on and none out.
Yeah, the difference, say, of Jamie Moyer is that Mike Flanagan taught him back in 1995. He said, you need to throw your changeup like most guys throw their fastball. And you got to keep it out in the middle of the plate.
Brian Bass not getting loose. Waters has allowed 1 run since coming on in 2 innings, but he's in a jam here. Part of the lineup up and 2 on with none out, and Youkilis takes a strike. Birkin went 3 innings, 6 runs on 10 hits. Waters came on to begin the 4th. The Runnies allowed a home run to Jason Bay, who was on deck. Pedroia and Martinez on here, back-to-back singles to begin the 6th inning.
Well, remember, he pitched inning and 2/3 on Friday, and he's a starting pitcher. So he's coming back with, what, about a day and a half rest. And that's why they have Brian Bass up. I cannot imagine they're going to let Jason Bass face Chris Waters if Youkilis gets on. Or maybe even if he gets out.
There is a left-hander behind Bay, but Bay is a dangerous right-handed bat on deck. Dave Tremblay has a lot of arms out there in the bullpen, and he's been using them.
Unfortunately, well, even though they had pitched pretty well coming into last night, doesn't always get the result that he would like. He was a little frustrated last night. Didn't match up against Mike Lowell when he had Meredith up the sinker ball, and Lowell got a single left field off the Castillo.
0-2 on Youkilis. Just missed.
See, if you look at Jamie Moyer, he stands on the other side of the rubber. You know, he goes all the way to the third base side because And if you ask him, he said, because I want a better angle to the righties. And Chris Waters is over on the first base side. Just imagine if you moved over that pitching rubber 24 inches. If you move over, it gives you a direct line to the inside corner. And then if you're a changeup and you sink the ball down and away, you have the ball running across the plate, fading away from the righter. And that's, of course, Moyers had great success.
Fouled off the foot of Youkilis. So 2 foul balls off his foot and 1 at bat. It might have been the shin,
calf, or whatever. It always amazes me. I did it off Dean Chance. Hit a ball right off the top of my left foot. Didn't hurt till after the game. Couldn't walk the next morning. I mean, it hurts. And guys, I mean, guys do get fractures and things like that, but most guys just tough it out and go play.
Protecting the outside corner. Youkilis fouls it back.
I think he just wanted to swing at anything out over the plate so he wouldn't hit another ball off his foot. Did it twice in this at bat. Smart guy, I'm telling you. Just get it in the air, hit a line drive the other way or whatever.
Here's the 9th pitch to Youkilis, and he misses inside, ball 3. So a typical kind of Youkilis at bat, 2nd in the league in on base percentage. He was quickly no balls and 2 strikes, and now the count full. And it's high, ball 4. So Youkilis doesn't chase that pitch. Bases are loaded with nobody out. And here comes Dave Tremblay out. Looks like we're getting a pitching change, and we will. So Waters will lead. Bass will come on as Boston looking to add to its lead with 3 on and none out. Waters goes 2 innings plus 3 batters. He will leave. The Red Sox have a 7-2 lead, threatening for more in the 6th inning. Right-hander Brian Bass comes on, and he inherits a jam. Bases are loaded and nobody down as Boston with a 7-2 lead, looking to add to that lead here in the 6th inning. Bass last worked on Thursday night against Tampa and had a pretty good outing. 2/3 of an inning, no runs on 2 hits.
Yeah, got the first 2 guys out, and then they would go to the bullpen. So Bay 0 for 3 lifetime off of Brian Bass. Bay 3rd most RBIs in the American League behind Teixeira and Longoria coming in.
And he's got 2 ribbies today.
Oh,
and he's hit by a pitch. So that'll force in a run. There's the 3rd RBI for Jason Bay on the day. As Pedroia comes on to score, and it's 8-2.
Yeah, he just drops his arm, opens up, the ball just flies in. Bay had no chance to get out of the way into the ribs. You can see a way in the.
So Jason Bay hit by a pitch for a 9th time this year. Yeah, the Red Sox get a run. J.D. Drew takes ball one. Drew is 0 for 3. The only hitter in this lineup to not yet get on base at least once. There's a bouncer to first. Aubrey will come home to cut off the run. That's the only out they'll get. One down as Victor Martinez is forced. Smart play by Michael Aubrey. There's no way he was going to get 2 anyway, so you cut off the run.
And now, if he can make a good pitch, maybe you can get Lowell to hit into a double play. Boy, is he a tough out. 3 for 4 last night. Well over 320 with runners in scoring position.
There's a bouncer to third. Turner second one. Roberts back to first. There's the double play. 5-4-3 around the horn ends it. But Boston does get a run on the bases loaded hit by a pitch. Mid-6th at Camden Yards. 8-2 Boston. Boston 8 runs on 13 hits with a 6-run lead as the Red Sox try to complete a sweep of the Orioles. The Red Sox have won 11 consecutive series from the Birds. The Orioles have not won a series from Boston since May of last season, 13th and 14th. That was the first series that they played last year, a 2-game series. The Orioles swept it. Since then, the Red Sox have won 11 consecutive series, including this one.
And if they win today, 23 out of the last 26 games. It's amazing. And a lot of close games, as we mentioned, 8 1 and 2-run ball games. But usually the better teams win the 1 and 2-run. So you're close. Either you got to get better, which really is what the goal of the Orioles, or you hope they slip a little bit, and they don't have any intentions of slipping.
Weeder swings through at 1-1. Well, it looks like first base and third base will be the positions that will be looked at in the offseason, and you might even throw DH in there because Luke Scott is a swing man if needed, but the outfield is set. Up the middle is set with Wieters as Torres and Roberts. So the question is, how does Andy McPhail obtain that hitter and or hitters to add to the mixture that he has here? Does he go out and make a trade and give up some of the prospects that he has been accumulating, which he says he would prefer not to do? Do you go out and try to sign somebody? There's Andy watching from his booth. Jason Bay's a free agent. Do you try to convince Bay to leave Boston and come here? Or do you go after Hideki Matsui, who the Yankees are unlikely to offer a contract? And there's a bad bounce over Victor Martinez and in the right field. Wieters is on for a third time.
So Martinez ends last inning with a great play, and then this time he's in a position to catch it. There's been a couple of bad hops today. Tries to, well, maybe not. Thought about putting the bare hand on it.
So Wieters will have his second straight third-hit game because of 2 bad hops. And he'll take them.
Yeah, I'm not sure Gonzalez would have caught the last one, but that's somewhat routine because it's right at Martinez.
And just like last night, he has a base hit to each of the outfield positions. One on the left, one the center, one the right.
I'm telling you, the problem is too many base runners for the Red Sox. All those cleats marks. It's causing the problem. You know, they come out and drag the infield. Try to smooth it out. Infielders do that. If you look at infielders, they're always in front of them. Gonzalez is doing it, taking the spikes and kind of smoothing it out with their feet. It's just the way they do.
On one on Markakis. And he pops it up. Pedroia out.
That's a tough play.
Ellsbury in, and Pedroia's got it. Stayed with it. Again, that high sky, you don't want to take your eye off the ball, and Pedroia makes a nice play, 1 down. Well, Luke Scott responsible for the 2 Oriole runs his last at bat.
Yeah, fastball middle of the plate, and nobody has more raw power than Luke Scott on the Orioles.
One out of 2 with that home run. And he takes inside. Bullpen activity. There's Ramon Ramirez getting loose.
Well, he had to come in and end the game last night. After Del Carmen struggled with an 11-3 lead.
Over but low ball 2. But it's really intriguing to kind of speculate how the Orioles will add those bats, because you know, there's the one argument that, well, you have all these prospects that you've worked very hard to accumulate and you'd like to see them follow through. The secondary part of that is one of the reasons you develop prospects is to use it in trade to get back a proven commodity.
Well, who's arguably the second best all-around player in the National League? Plays for the Marlins.
Dan Uggla.
Hanley Ramirez.
Hanley Ramirez.
How did they get him?
From the Red Sox. They developed him.
For Beckett, a #1 starter.
Mike Lowell.
And Lowell. So a lot of times if you have, of course, he was a special player. Certainly gotten a lot better. I thought they knew he was going to be good. I don't think they thought he was going to be this good.
I think one of the problems Andy might have in the offseason, the trade front wise, is that because of all the rookies who have gotten exposure here this year, those are the guys that they're going to ask for. Mattis and Tillman and Reimold. So it's going to have to be a creative offseason, if you will. You know, as Luke Scott draws the walk, so 2 on with 1 down. That is the first walk allowed by Daisuke Matsusaka.
Well, again, you play in the American League East, and the Yankees have the best offense. The Red Sox are #3, Tampa Bay is #4. And Toronto, even though they've struggled with injuries and whatever, are ranked #7. So it's a tough division. So you need to score runs. And I think the pitching, at least the starting pitch, is going to get better. Now, you better have a good back in the end of the bullpen. But we saw Ramirez. They went out and traded for Ramirez. Got him. They went to Japan, got Okajima a couple of years ago. They get Saito from the Dodgers, took a chance. So you do have to be creative. And then they went out and got 4 major players. There's youngsters, David Hernandez in the foreground and Brian Mattis eating seeds. He's been shut down. He'll still do that, though.
Oh, absolutely.
But you notice he's doing it right-handed.
Wiggins fouls it off the shin guard of Jason Varitek.
Trying to think, Burke, and if they said, you know, Brian, you want to play catch? He said, no, I'm shut down. I can't do it. So
all I'm going to do is work on my pickoff move.
He wants to be pitching, but they made a decision. He'll live with it.
I totally agree with the decision. For 2 more starts this year, why risk it? John Lester in 2006 went 7-2 with an ERA of 4.76. Brian Mattis this year 5-2, 4.63.
Yeah, similar that they're and similar in style. Lester maybe at that time threw a little bit harder, but didn't have the command that Brian had.
Wigginton can't check 1-2.
Well, he had a slider to hit the first time, and he bounced it to shortstop, and Again, it appears to me after Buchholz got him out with sliders in Boston, and then on Friday night, that doesn't mean they won't throw him a fastball, but when it comes to what the strategy is, make him hit a breaking ball.
One and two on Wigginton with 2 on and 1 down.
3-run home run here would make it awfully interesting.
Line drive, that'll be a base hit to left field. Bay backs up to play the hop. Being held at third is Wieters. So the Orioles have the bases loaded with 1 down, trying to chip back in this game in the 6th inning.
Well, they got the pitch to hit, and they hit it hard enough. He elevates this ball right here. It's gone. Again, another slider that ends up in the middle of the plate, and he is all over it. So the pitch count at 110, and that's about 17 more than he threw in his last start. Here comes Ramirez as Dice K is going to exit.
Orioles have something going here in the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 1 down. Matsusaka will leave. Ramirez coming on. Daisuke Matsusaka goes 5 1/3. He's allowed only 2 runs so far and 8 hits. The Orioles actually in this game base hits in each of their 6 at-bats, but so far he's been able to minimize the damage. Just the 2-run home run by Luke Scott. And here is Ramon Ramirez coming on in relief.
Yeah, real good numbers. Done a nice job for him. And again, they traded Coco Crisp. Kansas City had a need. They needed an outfielder. Of course, Crisp hurt himself. And Ramirez comes over and it's done a nice job. We saw him last night. We saw him up in Boston. A couple of bases loaded strikeouts of Reimold and Markakis in a tie ball game. Same situation. A little different hitter.
Well, the runners around, Wieters, Scott, and Wigginton. Runners in scoring position. Few opportunities for the Birds. And Aubrey swings through it. He's in a hole, 0-2.
Yeah, Ramirez young at 28, and if you look at Kansas City, the worst bullpen in the American League. There's a, how about this, Jim? This shocking number: 45% of the inherited runners from the bullpen for Kansas City have scored, highest in the major leagues. That's going almost 1 out of every 2. So forget the ERAs when you come in on the bullpen. So this guy certainly could have helped that bullpen, but he helps the Red Sox. And we talked about how you try to get better. You look for players that you have somebody who can fill their needs, and they can come over and fill a need in your bullpen, or whatever the case may be.
Well, that was a deal. They felt Ellsbury was ready, and they were right about that, to take over every day in center field. So Coco Crisp was available. One and 2 on Aubrey. Bases loaded, 1 down. Overthrows does Ramirez, 2-2.
See, right-handed batters last year, and if you start looking around, they had 153. That's the lowest among pitchers with over 50 appearances. That number's gone up a little bit this year to 209, but a very low number. only threw 2 home runs in 70 appearances last year.
2-2 is high, ball 3.
Yeah, he lived on the edge up in Fenway when he struck out Reimold and Nick Markakis both times to both hitters, went 2-0 and then came back to strike him out.
Wieters, Scott, and Wigginton with Aubrey at the plate. Full count, 1 down. And it's high, ball 4, and he forces in a run. Michael Aubrey takes the walk. He'll pick up the RBI as Wieters comes in. 8-3 is the Red Sox lead. The Wieters 3 for 3, got this going with a bad bounce single. And now a big spot here as Terry Francona and Dave Primbley look on for the rookie Justin Turner coming up. He is 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. Good cut. He fouled it straight back on 1.
Yeah, I'd like to have done a little more with that pitch. Good swing, though, as you mentioned. Had his first RBI in the major leagues. Fielder's choice the other night.
One down in the inning, a run in. Ground ball towards third, fielded there by Euclid. Second one, Pedroia back to first. There's a double play, and that ends the inning, and the Orioles have to settle for a run. So Ramirez gets out of it. We'll head to the 7th, 8-3 Boston. At Oriole Park at Camden Yards, Jason Birkin took the mound, but he didn't have it today. 3 innings, 6 runs on 10 base hits and an early shower. Daisuke Matsuzaka, he lived on the edge all afternoon, but he allows only 3 runs on 8 hits, 2 coming on Luke Scott's 24th home run on the year. So we move to the 7th inning, and the game now in the hands of the bullpens. Brian Bass is on for the Birds. He came on for Waters last inning and stays on. Boston has scored in 5 of its 6 at-bats. The only inning Boston has not scored today was in the 5th when Chris Waters retired them 3 up and 3 down. Veritek Gonzalez Ellsbury against Bass. The first pitch Bass threw when he came on, bases loaded, none down. He hit Jason Bay, but then he got a ground out and a force at the plate and a double play to end the inning. Baratek 1 hit on the day, 1 out of 3. Singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Line drive right to Escuras and 1 down in the 7th inning. Yeah, bullpen activity. Hideki Okajima now getting loose for Boston. Alex Gonzalez has had a good day. 2 hits, 1 a swinging bunt, the other a double. One and 0 on Gonzalez, 1 out, none on. And that one got a piece of Wieters. Richie Bancells is going to come out and check on Wieters.
Yeah, I might have got him on the backswing.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Well, that's why you wear the helmet. Not that it doesn't hurt.
Well, Wieters trying to shake it off. The way he's playing and developing, the last thing you want is for him to have to sit it out. 3 more hits today after 3 hits last night. Doing an improving job behind the plate as he continues to learn. One and 1 on Gonzalez, who's very deep in the box, close to the plate. Off the end of the bat towards center field, charging in his PA, and he'll get there for the out and 1 down.
Yeah, Felix can go down.
Excuse me.
Yep. I mean, he can run him down. He doesn't get the jump that Adam Jones does on balls, but boy, does he recover in a hurry.
Well, that'll turn over the lineup. Ellsbury coming up, already his 5th plate appearance in this game. He's got a walk, a stolen base, a single, a double, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. It's a pretty good day.
Oh, yeah. Well,
This one to right field. He hits it deep, and that's gone. Up onto the flag court for Ellsbury. So the Sox get the run right back and now lead it 9-3.
Well, he had gone 176 at bats till he had a home run against Tampa Bay. See, it's location of the pitch. Look where the target is. Look where the ball is. Wieters has to reach all the way across the plate. And Ellsbury, I mean, he's hit the ball sharply. And you look at a guy that steals 63 bases. Oh, the guy's got to be a Punch and Judy. Hit it on the ground. He's got power.
Pedroia to short. Escuras gets it to first, and that ends the inning, but not before Boston adds a run on the Ellsbury home run to take a 9-3 lead. Well, we're going to stay here. 7th inning stretch on Sunday afternoon, as Andy Marie Moore will be singing God Bless America. Here's Dave McGowan.
We ask that you please rise and join Andy Marie Moore in singing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, from the oceans white we foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless
Well, the Red Sox have a 9-3 lead. Fans enjoying their 7th inning stretch here at Oriole Park. Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer, and you're seeing why the Red Sox are a contender. The lineup, they are deep top to bottom. They can hurt you anywhere in the lineup, and their pitching contributes as well, and they have a 6-run lead.
Yeah, you know, Jason Birkin was trying to make it 4 in a row. He has not pitched. He came in with a 10-point ERA against the Red Sox, and you kind of saw why. Didn't have his best stuff today, didn't have his best command, and you just can't do that and be successful. Dice K, on the other hand, you know, again, if you have Adam Jones in the line, you maybe knock him out in the first inning, but at the end of the day, their bullpen's about a run better. So the Orioles, as we look towards 2010, you're going to have to get some hitters. You're going to have to get some betting pitching. You know, some of the young guys, I think, have shown a lot of promise. You know, Birkin, again, a very gutsy guy, but today just didn't happen.
Yeah, the Red Sox have done a very good job in this game in getting the key out. The Orioles have had base hits in every single at-bat today, but Boston pitching continues to get the big out to minimize the damage.
And that's, you know, again, that's just, again, better pitching. The earned run average about almost a run better for the Red Sox. And, you know, again, this is what you're working to have. You know, is it the fact that maybe you need a little bit better starting pitching because you can get deeper in the game? I think it's a combination of that and maybe having some bullpen guys with a little bit more experience that can command their fastballs.
So Cesar Esteuras leading off here in the Orioles 7th. Birds down by 6, so he takes a strike, 2-1 the count. Ramirez stays on. He relieved Matsuzaka, and that's low ball 3. Roberts on deck, and then Felix P.A. for the Birds here in the 7th inning. And Esteuras fouls it back, so the count goes full. 3-2 on Esteuras, leading off. Ramirez came on and walked Michael Aubrey to force it a run, but then got a double play ball to end the Orioles rally in the 6th. And he gets Esteuras here after falling behind 3-1. Strikeout number 1 for Ramirez and 1 away.
Yeah, just really good stuff. Maybe not the ideal way to pitch, but at the end of the day, 94 up and in. Throws enough strikes to be effective. And there is a term in baseball called effectively wild, because you're all over the strike zone, but you end up ultimately in the strike zone, and then just let your stuff.
Roberts' first ball swinging, fouls it off.
Yeah, we were always kind of taught, and I know Mike Flanagan, when he was pitching coach here, he said, you want to pitch well, let's see if you can throw 7 out of 10 down and away. And if you can do that, usually means that you have especially if you throw it across the plate, righty to righty, lefty to lefty, then that means you have to have a good windup. You have to be able to load. You have to be able to extend through the strike zone, throw the ball through the hitter to the catcher.
Roberts slowly grounded to first. Martinez gloves. He'll go to the bag and 2 men down. You know, it's one thing that's curious to me about how you improve your command, because if you think about it, there's only so many pitches you have in an arm. In the offseason, you don't begin throwing till what, December probably, to begin to get the arm strong. How can you go about improving your command to the point that you just described, where you're that efficient and that effective?
Well, I was taught, and I've learned it from talking to Gaylord Perry, David Wells, people like that, that every time you throw a baseball, when I taught the Little League down in Palm Beach Gardens, so when I taught my Little Leaguers, that every time you pick up a ball as a pitcher, and most of them play other position, is that there's an intent for what you're going to do with the baseball. In other words, I'm aiming at a target. I just don't frivolously throw a ball. I mean, it's a great point, because Brad Arnsberg, who's the pitching coach in Toronto, says hitters, you know, they can hit and do their drills, they can hit off a machine, they can come out and take live batting practice. But if you're a pitcher, you only have so many pitches you can throw.
So what you're saying then is that you have to iron out the mechanics. Then your intent has to be known beforehand, obviously.
Right. And then you're going to work on things, and you have to focus, and you have to pay attention. You have to understand what you need to do to be successful. And a lot of guys focus better than others. A lot of guys, I mean, when you play catch in the outfield, building up your arm strength, are you paying attention? I have my Little Leaguers. I said, this is not, you know, dodgeball where you're trying to hit the guy next to you. You just, again, you pick up the ball. You play a game where you try to hit them in the chest, because when you pitch, that's what you want to try to do. So again, when you do pitch, it's you just try to again have a better focus and a better plan. Because there are a lot of young pitchers that, and I probably was that way early on too, that I didn't understand it. But again, I had Robin Roberts, who had 270 wins, telling me and showing me what to do. And that's a big part of coming to the big leagues and getting better.
That's it. Well, PA takes it high. He'll take a 2-out walk as the Orioles get a 2-out base run. Here comes Matt Wieters. How about Wieters on this homestand? He's got back-to-back 3-hit games.
Yeah, right-handed last night, right here, back up the middle. Nobody plays there. There's your other one. A little bad hop. Gonzalez probably wasn't going to throw him out anyway. And then right here, that's a little routine in a sense, but you can see Martinez backing up because he hit a little topspin. I think if you just notice Matt Wieters, and maybe we can do this over the next week, because we can do everything here at Madison, is to show how much more relaxed he is at the plate than he was 2 months ago. Another 300 bats ago. But just think about it. Whether you're nervous or not, there was a lot of great expectations. #1 prospect this year at Baseball America, ahead of David Price.
Pictures on the cover.
Yep.
Well, he has exactly 300 at-bats with his 3 today. Plus, he has walked 23 times, so more repetition.
Yeah. Well, some people, Terry Crowley used to say, sometimes he can take you close to 1,500 at-bats. But then again, everybody's different. And of course, the more success you have, the more they're going to go back to the drawing board and try to figure how to get you out. Now, the great thing about being a switch hitter is, other than screwballs, breaking balls always coming into you instead of going away. Well, he's got that advantage.
Does anyone throw a screwball nowadays?
Well, we saw Dice K turn his changeup over, but not the Mike Cuellar screwball or Fernando Valenzuela.
1-2 on Wieters. Swept towards second base. Pedroia gets a big hop. Wieters is down, and the Orioles go in the 7th inning. So 2-out walk and a man left. 8th inning coming up. Boston with a 9-3 lead. Light, the world's most refreshing beer. So Matt Wieters setting up outside. Brian Bass delivers down and inside, and that's where Ellsbury likes it.
And the reason we talk about the location is we look at the freeze can is because if you hit the same ball to center field, you got a little more room. Down the line, usually when you hit it that hard, it sails out of here, and that one did.
There's Guillermo Rodriguez who comes on the catch, so hopefully Matt Wieters is okay after the Gonzalez backswing hit him on the back of the helmet. Here's Dennis Sarfate to take over on the mound.
Well, last year the clavicle problems that ended the season. This year the circulatory problems. So the velocities come back. He's working on a cut fastball every day. Well, I know how there's a big article today, Phil Hughes talking about Mariano Rivera, and And one of the writers said he'll show everybody how to the grip throw it, but only he can throw it and command it. So Dennis has been working on that pitch, through another one last night, threw one to Casey Kochman, and Kochman kind of looked out there. He said, I didn't know you had that pitch. Give him another pitch to use. And again, the guy that throws usually in the low to mid 90s, got the big overhand curveball, and the cutter can act like a slider, a little more movement.
Victor Martinez skies to PA, 1 down. Time for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Jacoby Ellsbury, Luke Scott, or Jason Bay, the candidates today. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862. Ellsbury's got a 3 RBI, 3-hit game. Bay's got a 3 RBI, 2-hit game. And Luke Scott has a 2-run home run for the Birds. And Euclid takes a strike.
See that velocity back up to 94. And when he came off the disables list, it was about 88, 89.
Euclid to right center field. Markakis glides over. PA's there. PA calls him off and has it for the out.
I think he's got a put-out clause in his contract.
I didn't know they gave those nowadays.
Nor do I, but it's mine. I used to play in Pam Shriver's tennis tournament here, and I'd always get one of the great tennis players of all time as my partner, Chris Evert. And every time the ball would go up, the lob or something like, yours, well, that's the way PA plays center field. Mine, why not?
I thought it was interesting the other day at the batting cage when you took claim to being the best pitcher shagging ever during BP, and Terry Crowley stopped you and he said, nope, it was John Parrish.
No. He said the top 2.
Oh.
Yes. Get your information right.
I heard it differently.
I didn't say that. I said George Stoller, our first base coach, said you may be our third best
center fielder, right?
Yeah. And Terry Crowley said the 2 best was me and John. Now Mike Messina was very good.
Messina was a great athlete.
Oh, good fastball right there. The one thing Dennis Sarfati is telling and opening up people's eyes again, if he's healthy, is that his stuff, it can be overpowering. And maybe, let's see if this is a cutter. Trying that cutter. Nope. Fastball got him. Same result.
So 3 up, 3 down inning. Good job by Sarfati. Hey, enjoy the afternoon. It's a 9-3 Boston lead. To experience the 2110 Utah Street, presented by First Fidelity Mortgage. It's Saturday, October 3rd. Baltimore's hottest new address is back for one final time. $21, you get the reserved Utah Street bleacher sheet, plus the exclusive I Live at 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. 888-840-BIRD or online at Orioles.com. There's the 21 and there's the 10. Of course, he doesn't have on his number 10 today. Adam Jones on the disabled list.
So a little defense for the Red Sox with their substantial lead. Brian Anderson He played center field for the White Sox. He comes in to play left at Okajima with 24 holds, third in the American League. And he's got more holds than any other pitcher in baseball, with 74 since 2007. And again, how did they develop the Red Sox as far as their roster? They signed him from Japan in 2007. Done a terrific job for him.
Yeah, Marquez takes a strike, and as we now get later in the afternoon, the shadows are starting to creep towards the pitcher's mouth on the third base grandstand. Home plate is pretty much all in shadows, just a little bit out in front of the plate, and the pitcher out there in the bright sunshine. Breaking ball for a strike. Marquez doesn't like the call.
Yeah, Jim Johnson a little of a struggle, so you bring him in to get him the work. So he'll be ready to pitch when they go north of the border to Toronto. Do you think that maybe Nick Markakis in spring training talked about stealing more bases? Really hasn't done that 5 out of 7, so not a lot of attempts. Do you think that maybe when you talk about bunting, if your third baseman is going to play 4 steps behind third base, and you're going to get close to 200 hits, now you do it with 2 strikes. That's obvious, but early on, that's where Lucas was playing. Because maybe he bunt a little more next year. You know, it's just one of the things you'd like to be able to do. George Brett did it. He's in the Hall of Fame with well over 3,000 hits. It just makes him defend you a little differently. And that's why when I talk about Brian Roberts bunting, I mean, just think about it. If the difference sometimes between hitting 280 and 300 is what, about 2.8 hits more every 100 times you're up. It's just not that different. And of course, Nick close to 300 all year long, now at 295. Maybe dropped a couple points this afternoon.
Fouls that one back. You were looking at Hideki Okajima's numbers, and he is a setup man. He has the hold statistic. He has 24.
Does it tell you? See what I did the notes? Does it tell you how many blown holds he had?
How many did you not hold it?
Yes. Well, we have blown saves, so I'm going to blown holds.
Well, he has. Let's see. He has 2 blown saves, so I guess there's the 2. Markakis to center field, back on it. And getting there is Ellsbury. He's got it for the out, 1 away.
Yeah, pretty frustrating for Nick. Finally hits one well, but right at the center fielder.
There are only 2 pitchers in the American League more successful with holding leads than Okajima. Matt Guerrero of the Twins has 30, and Bobby Say of the Tigers has 27.
And they're battling it out today. The Tigers now with a 4-2 lead. Huge game for them. Well, that's a 2-game swing.
There's Luke Scott. The Orioles leader is still Jim Johnson, who is no longer a setup man. He has 14 holds. Luke hits it hard, but right to Martinez, and 2 men down on the Oriole 8th inning. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles.
So a little luck factor right here. 2 balls hit right on the nose. Markakis to center field, and then Luke Scott to Martinez at first. But that's part of pitching. You know, you're trying to make your pitches. They don't always work, but you throw strikes.
Well, that's the key, right? Because if the ball's put in play, you got a chance to make it out.
Well, there's 7 guys playing behind you. Now you try to play tendencies. That's why you'll see guys shift from batter to batter, sometimes from pitch to pitch if you're paying attention, depending on count, depending on score of the game.
The Tigers now have a 4-2 lead at Minnesota, trying to cool off the charging Twins, and they're in the bottom of the 9th in Arlington. And the Angels have a big lead now on the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, John Lackey started that game. A little blurb in the paper today that Nolan Ryan, apparently the 4-year deal that people thought he had was really just a handshake deal with Tom Hicks, and that they don't want him back. He'll move on. Wow, that would be unusual. I mean, the kind of year that comeback year that the Rangers had, being in contention all the way to the middle of September. Even though they lost Josh Hamilton for most of the year, and Michael Young's been out. One at bat, probably in the last 2 weeks with the hamstring problems. Of course, Tom Hicks, the owner, having financial problems, so see how that turns out.
2-2 is tapped towards the middle slowly. Pedroia off balance throw, and he got it. Dustin Pedroia, terrific play near the bag, and the Orioles go 3 up and 3 down. Well, last year he won a Gold Glove for fielding at second base. He shows you why here. Takes a base hit away from Wiggins into the O's go in order. Souvenir stand outside Oriole Park. What a gorgeous day, late afternoon on the final day of summer. Jim Johnson, Jim, comes on to work here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, you can see the numbers a little inflated. The 5 blown saves, one of them the other night against Tampa Bay, and then of course Matt Wieters the next bottom of the inning hit a walk-off home run after a rain delay. Chris Tillman with an opportunity to win. So trying to smooth things out. Feels like heads going left. Stuff again, good stuff, but no command of it.
Josh Reddick will pinch hit for J.D. Drew leading off in the 9th, and it's outside 1-0. Prospect who is getting a good look and looks like has a good chance to be on the playoff roster.
Well, hit a home run last night on a hanging curveball off of David Hernandez. Hit a long way.
Fall back. Reddick, a 22-year-old rookie, was a 17th round pick in 2006. So he has raced through the Red Sox system. And how about that for scouting? You get a guy like this in the 17th round.
He's never really put up fabulous numbers in the minor leagues, but he can do a lot of things to help you win.
Off the end of the bat, Markakis charging in on it. 1 down in the 9th inning. Let's get an update now. The voting for the AT&T player of the game. And Luke Scott getting the hometown vote, 70%. Ellsbury and Bay with 15% each. Text in your vote now. Have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862. And Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra Postgame. Mike Lowell now. First ball swinging, fouls it off. Lowell drove in 2 runs in the 3-run rally in the first inning, in which Boston was off and running. Right off the glove of Jim Johnson. Roberts has to hurry. Lowell is running. He got it. So the advantage there of Mike Lowell, who's got the bad hit. That'll be 1-4-3 on the putout and 2 down.
Yeah, this ball hits very softly because it's up on the fist. Look at the target right there. And Brian Roberts is probably going to catch that ball, but he catches it anyway on the deflection as he shifted up the middle. And there we go. But DeGroya makes a great play to end the bottom of the 8th. And Brian Roberts says, yeah, I'll get my Gold Glove one of these years.
Veritek fouls it off. The shadows now more pronounced. They're completely beyond the batting circle around home plate from the third base grandstand. And Jim Johnson out there in the bright sunshine, you can see how the hitter is in the shadows.
Yeah, the other day in Yankee Stadium there were like 4 different bands with the light stanchions of ball going through sun, shade, and then into the sun before the hitter had to try to pick it up.
That is the roof, the shadow of the roof over the third base grandstand and the upper deck that you see on the field there. The way the sun, the angle's coming down. And there's the lights out towards Luke Scott in left field. Shadows of the lights.
And that's a part of the postseason in baseball, and it has been for years. I mean, you still remember back at Yankee Stadium. I mean, I grew up as a Yankee fan, which proves I'm not perfect. But anyway, I watched them in the shadows and whatever. And as you get into October and the twilight games, they really do play a major part of it. Good curveball from Jimmy Johnson.
Well, Veritek down. Boston goes 3 up, 3 down. Orioles coming up at the bottom of the 9th, down by 6. Thanks very much as we head to the bottom of the 9th and the Orioles down by 6. And here's Jed Lowry off the bench. He takes over at third base for Youkilis, and Reddick, who came up as a pinch hitter for J.D. Drew, he stays in the game. Reddick is in right field. There's Josh. So the third base spot now occupied by Jed Lowry. He'll take over Youkilis' spot in the lineup. And here is a new pitcher on. Saito comes on for Boston.
At Takashi Saito, who threw the ball extremely well and has thrown the very deep bullpen. No earned runs in his last 13 appearances over 12 2/3 innings, and no runs in 18 of the last 20. And again, this was a guy that has converted 83 of 94 major league save opportunities. Was with the Dodgers, had elbow problems. 39 saves 2 years ago. Last year some elbow problems, only 18. But again, this was a guy they went out and got, a veteran, and he's done a terrific job for him. Not been the mainstay, but he's another a guy that gets you to Papelbon, the closer.
And he misses inside to Michael Aubrey, 1-0.
And last night, Jimmy, was from anywhere from 88, and once he got into the inning, up to 93, 94. Kind of a late breaking ball that he'll start outside and bring it back for a strike. And once again cuts that ball, not even close. Veritek, one of the better catchers in presenting a target. He'll give you the target. It'll go down a little bit. There's your sign. Target will give you a little target and then get it right up. That's what you're looking at.
Aubrey pops it up. Jed Lowry will be tested. Foul ground. Samuel gets out of his way, and there's the first out in the Oriole ninth inning.
See, that's what Matt Wieters has become so much better. Don Werner working with him just to give you something to throw at. Otherwise, you're just throwing at a void back there. You know, a lot of times you'll throw your breaking ball off a particular shoulder. Rick Dempsey used to have the Day Glow orange on the inside of his glove, so even if you wanted to not look at him, you had to.
Justin Turner now, he's had a tough day, 0 for 3, including grounding into a double play to end the Orioles rally in the 6th inning. Takes outside, 1-0.
Well, that's a long way to that outside corner when you have an open stance. And of course, he's got his, it's hard to tell, that front foot. There used to be a line. It's about 6 inches from an inside corner. But again, you got it, the ball down and away right there. Seems like it's about 3 miles away. And we've seen him break a number of bats because, again, with a modern day bat, you hit it on the end, it's going to shatter, splinter, implode, whatever you want to call it. That's that breaking ball I'm talking about. It just starts at you if you're right-handed, starts away if you're left-handed. And it's got to be hard to see.
The Red Sox have 3 pitchers on their staff from Japan, and all 3 have pitched in this game.
Actually, they have 4. We get another one. You get Tozawa, the rookie, who's here. So I don't think
about him.
If we see him, the Orioles are going to make a late rally. We'll see Papelbon before that. We saw him up in Boston early on.
Yeah, I didn't see him listed in the bullpen for the Sox today.
It's all right. Well, you have the most thorough, neat scorecard in the history of scorecards.
I try.
You do a splendid job.
The 3-2 to Turner is inside, ball 4, and he draws a 1-out walk. So down to first goes Turner. And that'll get Cesar Esteuras up with 1 on and 1 down. Twisted foul back of the plate. That is a final now in Texas, and the Angels win it 10-5. 3 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th for Los Angeles broke it open. Lackey beats Holland, so Boston can gain another game and knock 2 off their magic number with a win here in the wild card race. And what that also means is that if the Yankees win today and they're underway in Seattle, since Texas has lost, the Yankees would become the first team in the major leagues to clinch a postseason berth. The Red Sox number to clinch the wild card beginning today was 9. It would be at 7 if the Sox hold on here, and Esteuras soft swing in the left field.
Well, remember last night they brought Del Carmen in to pitch the ninth. It was 11-3. Orioles hit 2 home runs to make it 11-5. They had to go to the bullpen with Rivera. Now, how about Teixeira with the 2 home runs last night? He was a double away from hitting for the cycle. And the amazing thing, he had gone, I guess he had 3 doubles this week, had gone 1,192 at bats without a triple, and then 3 in 16 at bats.
And you don't think of speed being part of his game, but I guess it's where you hit it.
Yeah, it really is, especially in the ballpark. The bigger the ballpark, the easier it is to hit triples. And then some guys can just do it because of their speed. Same with inside the Parkers. Yeah, the old Kansas City ballpark before they reconfigured it was a perfect place. AstroTurf. Like a pinball machine. Ball would get in the corner and go and make it run.
Turner and Asturias leading with 1 down in the 9th inning. That's off the plate. 1-2 on Roberts. Ryan has 1 hit today at double, so he's got a 3-game hitting streak going. He's had 8 hits on the 7-game homestand.
It came in hitting .293 for the month of September.
And Roberts down on strikes 2 away in the Oriole 9th inning.
Yeah, perfect pitch hit up and away, right on the corner, or just maybe a half inch off it. Plate 17 inches wide. You take the ball, throw another 2 inches in there, and this ball right in that zone, running away. See, that's where the shadows really have an effect. You know, normally that's a ball that maybe you can flick foul, but you just don't pick it up quite as quickly.
Orioles down to their final out. Here's Felix Pie, who is hitless on the day, does have a walk. Saito deals, and it's fouled back. Saito, the 4th pitcher used by Terry Francona today. It's Matsuzaka's game to win. Birkin's game to lose. And again, a foul back. 0-2 on Pie. Both these teams on the move following the game. The Orioles head to Toronto. Boston heads to Kansas City. They have not yet been in Kansas City this year, and it's the beginning of the second to last week of the season. Their road trip then concludes with a series in New York next weekend against the Yankees. The 0-2 swung on and missed, gets away from Varitek. He picks it up, and he'll fire to first, and that ends the ball game. So the Red Sox complete the 3-game sweep against the Orioles, and their dominance of the Birds continues as they win it today by the final of 9-3. We invite you to join us again tomorrow night. The Orioles travel to Toronto. It's the first of 3 against the Blue Jays. Chris Tillman will be on the mound against the Blue Jays' David Percy. Coverage on MASN begins at 6:30 with those extra, presented by AT&T, and then game coverage at